When the temperature drops.
Whoa, when the temperature drops. Yes, I'm a pooper nut. Don't worry, I'm just doing an audio check. We'll start soonish.
When the temperature drops.
Whoa, when the temperature drops. Yes, I... Okay. Audio sounds good. Audio sounds fine. We'll get started soon. Let some people gather. Didn't know you wanted replays? I wondered, what? Since when do I want replays? I want replays of good games always to cast for the channel, but for today's stream, I was just going to do semifinals and finals live. What up, Patrick? One of our semifinals should be ready soon, though the players will have to get into that semifinal and match and do picks and bans and shit, so it'll be a little bit, just firing up the stream, letting people gather. I'm gonna go grab some water for the stream. Burp. Alright, I'm back. You remember, boy, whatever happened to Faction War? Did it get scrapped? What Faction War? The legendary, the only one I can think of that got scrapped, quote unquote, was the Legendary Lords tournament. Oh, the faction. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I made a post about it at the time. I was entering treatment when it was ending, so Tequila Sunset finished it for us. So it's on his channel. It did not get scrapped, but we were not able to finish it, unfortunately. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, I'm just gonna deafen on Discord because I want to check something quick. There you go. You want to hear anything untoward? Okay. Hope your treatment went good at least. I think so. I mean, I'm out, right? It's gotta mean something. Hope everyone is having a merry season. You too, Will. You too. Pulled up the bracket just so people could see the bracket. So we're waiting on one of our semifinals to be ready to start. I know for a fact Butcherbird versus Black Knight game 3 is just starting. That's what I checked on. Pasha versus Seos game 3 started about 15 minutes ago, so that should be done pretty soon, but thought we could do a little intro. Yeah, hosted a best of 3 sweaty land battles tournament, had 24 people sign up. I think about 20 checked in. Yes, we're gonna cast the semifinals and finals of that live. I had a decent run today. Fought Zurihan and Gotrek, won versus both them, lost to Scarbrand in a very close series, so that was fun and nice. Game 3 of Seos and Pasha just started. Gotcha. Understood. Understood. Where is my Discord gonna pop up? 1 second. Okay. There's the bracket again. I just pulled my Discord out of that screen so y'all can't see my private messages. Very close series. It was a close series, man. 2-1. That was funny though. So Patrick's referring to, because I was in a Discord talking to some friends while we were playing this until the stream started. But game 3 was decided Beastman into his Grand Cathay, and I apparently, just out of habit, gave my Chimera attack orders onto some Croman, which I didn't remember doing because I didn't really want my Chimera to go fight Croman, but I must have just done it. And then I was busy doing other stuff, not really paying attention, and then everyone in the voice chat's like, I forget exactly what they said, but someone's like, kind of wild to let your Chimera die like that. And I was like, huh? And I look up and my Chimera followed one of his Croman back into like 4 Iron Hail Gunners that were all just shooting it and it died instantaneously. And I'm like, rip. So I lost my 1500 gold monster like as soon as the game started. Whoops. So yeah. No, we lost that last game, but the rest of the series was pretty good. What's the big red B on your Windows bar? Bitdefender. It's my antivirus thingy. You should show the screenshot before dying. Yeah, I can go find that and then pull it on the screen. That was pretty funny. So, Scarbrand sent that. So yeah, it got pretty out of position. Oh well. Rip. That's funny. I blame the Chimera for letting itself die like that. True. Hey, I thought it was a good series. It is actually funny though that both of the wins by Scarbrand were blowouts and my win was close. Because I also, game 1 was Ogres versus Minotaurs, and I haven't played a lot of Ogres recently, so I took a build that I vaguely remembered taking, and it just didn't go very well as Minotaurs kind of steamrolled my Iron Guts and stuff, so that was pretty rough. I have some ideas on what to do in that matchup. I don't think it's unplayable, but yeah, I lost it there, and then game 2 was pretty close. Dwarves, Lizardmen, my Dwarves ended up winning, but yeah. Game 3 was a whoopsie. I think my build was fine in game 3. Looking back on it, I'd probably not change very much about my build. It was just obviously not letting your Chimera die for free at the start like that, but my Slongors and Pestigors were getting through the front line, harassing the Iron Hails good, and then in the late game it would have been a Chimera helping me to kill your heavy cav, so that would have been fine, but yeah. So we'll start with whatever semifinal gets done first. We have Butcherbird and Black Knight. They're in game 3. Pasha and Seos are also in game 3. So we'll just see who starts out there. How's everybody else doing? By the by. I'm going to load up my Ungrim Iron Fist campaign and just see if I successfully save Scummed. Dude, Corn in campaign is so damn obnoxious, by the way. I'm playing dwarves in campaign and I can't deal with these Wrathmongers. Whenever there's a Wrathmonger, I just accept my defeat because I can't kill them. It's crazy. It is unreal, crazy garbage. Oh, nice. I get to redo this. Yeah, I'll redo this battle. To hell with it. Okay, we'll go to game. I'll leave the starting soon up there so people know this isn't a tournament, but I'm just playing a campaign battle while we wait for a semifinal to start. Dealing with some late game Corn. Wrathmongers all over the place. Do you think Slanesh versus Nurgle is more winnable now? Ooh, yeah, that's actually way more winnable for Slanesh now. CJ, I haven't seen it yet, but it's in theory way more winnable. And then, Will, still sick, getting better. Glad you have some time off. What the fuck is this dwarf army? It was what I could put together really quickly to stop Khorne from invading Karak Kadrin. And now I'm just kind of stuck with it. Sounds like one of our semifinals is ready. I'll let the players get together and do some pick and bans while I see if I can even turn this shit around. First attempt at it, I lost, but I was doing really good, and then all of a sudden I was not doing so good anymore. It was a sad time. Flame Cannon, Grudge Settler. Does anybody else get the bug? I'm curious. Does anybody else get the bug where your Grudge Settlers, your grudges just stop working? Because I've had that for a little bit now. It's kind of pissing me off. Like, I can never get another Age of Reckoning. It just doesn't work. It's dumb. Dumb as hell. Alright, never mind. We're not going to be able to finish this. Are there semifinals ready? Go! Go! Let's go watch what we actually came to watch! So, scorecard version up. Just need a blocker. Blocker, blocker, blocker. Blocker, blocker. Blocker. Is it still Scarbrand thing? No, am I doing Butcherbird? Or is it Scarbrand? I don't know. He sent me a code. I'll check the code in a second. Image. Browse. Need a blocker. See what blockers should we do today. Could do Naked Rekarth. I'll have to make it smaller, but Naked Rekarth, man. Why do you even have that? Mind your own business. That's gross. That's grotesque. Well, he was the winner of our Legendary Lords tournament total thing, so deal with that. There we go. Okay, we have found the game. Let's hop in. Okay, so it blocks the correct amount of stuff, leaves other stuff unblocked. Love it, love it. And Scarbrand will be on the left side. I'm going to throw clan tags on there and abbreviate his name because Scarbrand the Exiled is too long for my scorecard. So we have XMT's Scarbrand versus ODM. I'm going to go with Butcherbird because that's the name I know him as. Let's go. Cool, cool, cool. Whoop. Whoop. Not quite centered. Hang on. How about now? Better. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. We'll do it. Do it up. Seos and Berserk have also matched at roughly the same time. All right. All the admin stuff is done. Let's check in on chat. How's chat doing? Maybe in Goblin Hue the Wrathmongers? Yeah. Wasn't the Faction War 190 nicknamed the Butcherbird? Wasn't the FW 190? Oh, you're talking about probably a plane of some kind. If he was dressed like that, I don't think any creatures let themselves be taken alive. Jesus. Sego saying land battles are for boomers. Hey, man. None of my series took an hour and a half. That is Naked Rakarth as a screen blocker. Hey, Art Splash. Good to see you, too. So for this series... this is taking place on our Discord bot, so I can see the global bans. So neither player is allowed to play High Elves, Norska, or Ogre Kingdoms or Warriors of Chaos. Okay. Cool, cool. I feel like I need to be better about watching shows, but whenever I have downtime, I just want to play games. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really bad at watching shows. I used to watch a lot when I was working out, but I haven't done that in quite a while, but used to have some on the TV whenever I was working out. That was like the only way I got any media consumed. Because I've been in the middle of season 2 of Andor for like literally 4 months. I gotta get back on it. I wish Grace liked shows like that, because then I could have an excuse of like, well, I'm watching it with Grace, but she likes more of situational comedies like Friends, or what are we watching now? Watching Jury Duty now. Watch Scrubs together. Watched BoJack Horseman together, but that's not a comedy really. That's a super depressing show. Captain Obvious replacing shows with YouTube streams. Smart. No, that's just smart. All right, so Butcherbird went Wood Elves, Beastmen, and Empire ban Tzeentch. Scarbrand now gets to counterpick, knowing the 3 factions. Wood Elves, Beastmen, and Empire ban Tzeentch. Judge Judy? No, it's a show called Jury Duty. I'm not sure if I like it yet, but the premise is like they have a bunch of actors playing a jury, except for one guy. There's one guy that's not an actor, and he thinks it's a real trial with a real jury. And it's kind of a weird reality show, just like watching his reaction to crazy shit. But I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet. It's not bad. I just don't know if it's good. Night Court, a bit older, but just the clip compilations from YouTube are pretty great. What up, Spartan? Is Night Court like a serious plot-driven show, or is it more of like a silly thing? Human Boy, is it time for another tier list video? Yeah, it probably is. I also need to like play enough to know how I feel about tier lists. I have been getting back into it. I have been playing more, but probably a New Year assignment. The rest of this year I have videos scheduled out, so not exactly hurting for content right now. Scarbrand's still hovering Grand Cathay. So I don't know what his pick is just yet. His build hasn't changed behind the blocker. It's still the build he played me with. All right, Scarbrand's picked Slaanesh. Contrarian Codex, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. This is the first Slaanesh I've seen today. Probably because I have them global banned for me. Again, you tell the bot 2 factions that you never want to face ever, and it bans them from the other person. So I moved Slaanesh to that for me after the DLC. They're pretty damn strong. So we'll get to see some Slaanesh. Slaanesh versus Wood Elves. And yeah. Curious what the Wood Elves are going to do in this matchup. Slaanesh is pretty straightforward, even after the DLC. I mean, a lot of their stuff is still pretty standard. I imagine we'll see the mask. I know CA is looking to nerf the mask, but probably see them, as they're definitely one of the best lords right now. Teeny tiny, very hard to snipe with arrows, but then they're also 70 speed, crazy fast, Mortis engine, and a strong duelist, so do expect to see them versus the Wood Elves. I'm trying to remember what the front line usually is in this matchup. I don't know. I guess Marauders is usually safe and easy, but I feel like I was on a big Forsaken kick right before I left for a brief hiatus. So maybe it used to be Forsaken, but I don't know. The Slongors are there now. You'll probably see some Slongors. Probably. Anti-infantry, lacking in armor piercing, but the Wood Elf front line checks notes doesn't have that high of armor. Yeah, Dryads don't have that high of armor, do they? I just tab over the unit. 60 armor? Yeah, I guess that's higher than I thought, but still, Slongors are just good. We'll see. What faction would currently be best in a massive best of 1 single faction tournament? Still Dark Elves. Dark Elves are a solid pick for sure. I know you're half memeing, but to seriously answer the question, I'd say Dark Elves or Slaanesh. Yeah, Dark Elves or Slaanesh. Slaanesh is really, really good after the DLC. I tried to Chaw the other day. She was a blender, but then she had problems hitting a lord that was running away. It was a bit weird. Yeah. If she doesn't have amazing charge animations, then they can just end up following a foot character around for a really long time. All right, Scarbrand's still working through some build stuff. Wood Elves are ready. We're chilling. Night Court is an extremely silly sitcom. Gotcha. Well, I just saw it. I missed it for a brief moment. Slaanesh is going through the ringer, panning through their massive roster, trying to put together some kind of build. For legal reasons, this is a joke, because even after 2 DLCs, Slaanesh's roster is actually still pretty small. Or is it 3 DLCs? Champions of Chaos, Tides of Torment. Oh, that might be it. Champions of Chaos and Tides of Torment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, still 2. Still 2 DLCs. Slaanesh maybe looks ready. Maybe. Bam, bam, boom. Beetle-bop. Hey. Hey. All right, Slaanesh ready up. 3, 2, 1. Go! Can't stop us now. So I expressed my honest opinion. I thought it would be the mask, but at no point did Scarbrand hover the mask. They were sitting on T'Challa for a bit, then a Herald of Slaanesh for a bit, and then they switched finally to the Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh, so... No mask, which is interesting. Again, you think this would be a great matchup for the mask. Foot-sized, so that Slaanesh has a... I mean, not Slaanesh, the Wood Elves have a hard time sniping it out. Buff Seekers for your Demons of Chaos. I remember the days Demons of Chaos were super meta. Those were dark times. Dark times. Mostly just Soul Grinder of Tzeentch Kite with a bunch of air cheese. Seeker, Soul Grinder, flying units. End of list. We're loading in. Loading. What is it that helps you load faster? Is it RAM or is it processing power? I'm trying to remember if this is memory gated or not. I think it's RAM, because most people suggest getting a solid state drive, so yeah. Okay. For the Wood Elves, we have Cav and Kite. No melee infantry whatsoever to deal with for Slaanesh. We have Sisters of the Thorn, Wild Riders, more Sisters of the Thorn, more Wild Riders, one of which is the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, Regiment of Renown, armor piercing and magic damage, and anti-large. Wow. Wild Riders have none of those things? That's kind of crazy. 3 Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards, Orion, King of the Wild Hunt, with his global charge buff, Horn of the Wild Hunt. Then we have a Spellsinger of Life with just Earthblood. Earthblood spam with some Life Bloom. On the other side, for Slaanesh, we do have a front line of 5 Slaangors, then some Hellstriders of Slaanesh, 4 Skirmish Cav, one of which is the ROR. We have 1 Chaos Knight with Lances. Then we have a Sorcerer of Shadows with Melkoths as his only spell. It does have Smoke and Mirrors. Trying to give his army a little more speed as he spams out Melkoths. And the Selangor's gonna have a tough time. Not a lot of infantry for them to blend up. They will just have to ominously walk forward and hope to get involved with a fight someday. Now, with 57 speed, they are actually going to run down the Deepwood Scouts pretty quickly, so the cavalry are going to have to do some peeling for those archers, and then that's when the Slaanesh countercharges could come in with Hellstriders and whatnot, so I guess they are putting these Wood Elf archers on a timer as they come sprinting in. Whee! 57 speed! And they gain speed as they take damage? Yes, they gain speed as they take damage. First Melkoth's out onto the Wild Riders. Slangor's countercharges, so a lot of damage onto those Wild Riders, all things considered. Now Hellstriders are thinking about following it up. But I wonder... Yeah, they turn on the Sisters of the Thorn instead. That's pretty nice. Do the Sisters give themselves any of their buffs? Doesn't look like they have just yet. They haven't used any of their bound spells, and they're taking a good chunk of damage. Remember, Sisters of the Thorn are about 1,100 gold. So it's not cheap. Slaanesh is getting some decent engagements here and there, but they are overall taking more damage. I mean, the damage value shows that. Slaanesh is currently down about 1,000. Orion's Hounds of the Wild Hunt tearing through the Slaaneshi forces, who are trying to retreat now, but it is too little too late. They will take a lot of damage. But I don't know if the Wood Elves want this just kind of long knockdown drag-out fight. They do have to keep cycle charging and using their speed, otherwise they're paying for extra stats they're not getting to use too much of. Skirmish Cav for Slaanesh having a hard time engaging, unfortunately for them, and the balance of power is indicating the damage value lead for the Wood Elves quite nicely. Other Wild Riders starting to attrition out, and this is kind of the big question. A lot of early upfront damage, but can the Wood Elves stick with it? For now, the answer is yes, but we'll see. Chaos Knights have gotten into the backfield. They're now getting swamped in Wild Riders, Sisters of the Thorn, while the Deepwood Scouts try and peel away in every different direction. Bounce power has stopped getting worse for Slaanesh, which is something. We're running out of Slaanesh cavalry, though. Their Hellstriders have all taken a lot of damage. It looks like the Seekers already died to the Wild Hunters of Kuranos. There's not a lot here that can chase down Wood Elves in the late game. You could get to a pretty awkward point where you just have Skirmish Cav trying to deal with Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn. That could be very bad. Sorcerer of Slaanesh runs down the Life Caster, trying to get rid of her and also force the Wood Elves back into a extended fight on top of the Slangors, while the Slangors are still pretty healthy. You can see a Sister of the Thorn did have to pretty much sacrifice its life to get that Spellsinger of Life out of there. 3 Deepwood Scouts still firing in. Slangor is pushed away in every direction. Bounce power starts to get a little worse for Slaanesh yet again, as a big heal comes through. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Yes, in the middle of a game, YouTube. Now would be a very good time to insert ads, you idiot. Anyway, things are looking quite cursed for Slaanesh. I don't know what they have that can take out Orion. Orion might be a world beater in the late game. Other cavalry is still getting run down, so we still have decently healthy Deepwood Scouts for the Wood Elves. Still have a good amount of cavalry, though it is all looking quite attritioned, but maybe they can just heal it up. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. Maybe if this area for the Wood Elves breaks apart, then Slaanesh has a chance in this game. Nice downhill charges from their Skirmish Cav onto Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn. But these are just Skirmish Cavs, so the Wild Riders seem to be performing admirably into them, and Orion is coming up behind, ready to do some stabbing. Kills 2 of them with 1 jab there. He's going to force them away. Quick Melkoth's out onto Wild Riders. Scarbrand is scrapping back admirably. Still trying to catch these guys, as the Slangors are nearly fully charged on their passive. Impressive 50 speed for them. Wild Hunters can also pushed off, but hey, is that a full health Wild Rider coming in the late hour? Looks like they were busy chasing something off, but yeah, with a full health Wild Rider running around, I don't know how Slaanesh is going to deal with that. Seems pretty rough. Deepwood Scouts continuing to fall back, getting good damage out. Damage, damage, damage. Now the Wild Riders surround the Slangors. Trust me, there are Slangors in there. They're just surrounded by reindeer, which is why they're having a pretty bad time. Orion's taking actually decent damage in the background, by the way. Not low enough to even proc his Cloak of Isha, which gives him a bunch of tankiness and healing, but took more than I would have thought. Another Melkoth's out onto the previous healthy Wild Rider, which now has hit around half HP. Skirmish Cav look like they're trying to get on the Deepwood Scouts. Wild Hunters of Kronos are going to peel them away, and the Deepwood Scouts are going to fire as they retreat. Another Earthblood out for the Wood Elves as well. Slaanesh does not have any hidden forces we're missing. No one to come to their aid in the final hour. So yeah, not sure what's going to stop Orion here. Let's say everything else trades 1 for 1 somehow. Right, like, Wood Elves lose everything, Slaanesh takes a little bit of damage here and there somehow. Late game, I don't think 2 Skirmish Cav and this Lord can kill Orion, so... seems pretty rip. Orion gets a nasty shot, and I think if he hits one more time, Army Loss is going to proc, but looks like Scarbrand will just throw in the towel. That was a pretty good Wood Elf build. No need for infantry. Just Cav. And Orion. For Scarbrand, Slongors still honestly got pretty solid value, even though there was no infantry for them to clear. Hellstriders struggled. I feel like they have been for a bit since their nerfs. Skirmish Cav did fine. Chaos Knights had a hard time getting value. Seekers got crushed. GG's. Blocker back up. Get back into the lobby. And give Butcherbird their point. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Stop telling me what to do! Big Pass is next. Biggest map in the whole game. I think it's the biggest map in the tournament map pool. Watch as they pick like dwarves versus vampire counts on the biggest map, so we just have to watch zombies waddle at dwarf warriors. Could be funny, could be stupid, could be both. Theo, Scarbrand's back against the wall, but he gets to pick 3 this time. Wonder what he'll do. Haven't seen him play Khorne in a while, but it is a tryhard tournament, so he'll probably just pick the 3 factions he thinks are best at the moment, not like do whatever for the memes or for his namesake. Why am I yawning so much? It has to stop. This yawning bullshit cannot stand. Scarbrand's typing. Tzeentch, Demons of Chaos, and Grand Cathay banned Empire. Interesting. I'm seeing a lot of Tzeentch in people's pick and bans today, but no one's actually picked it yet. My response to it was usually ban something that's good against Skaven, pick Skaven, and then it was Tzeentch and X versus Skaven, and person always picked X. Stop, you're making me yawn. Sorry. 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 Come find me. It's Christmas this week. Thursday. Thursday is Christmas Day. Holy shit. I feel like it's been creeping up on me this year. This year's been flying by, but then also At the same time, it feels like it's been December forever. December's taking so long, bro. November was legit the shortest month of my life. But Halloween feels like forever ago. Now I'm just stuck in an existential crisis. Who am I? What am I? What is time? What'd you get Hazel for Christmas? We got her a new treat maze. Something she has to like solve to get a treat. And then I think we got her some of these like hardened meat stick chews, but they're like almost as hard as bone. So they clean her teeth while she works on them, but she loves those. Big fan. Butcherbird swapped over to Tomb Kings, so I'm guessing the pick has happened. Tomb Kings ban Grand Cathay. I'm guessing we're getting Demons of Chaos Tomb Kings. Maybe, like, obviously, when you have two choices, Tzeentch or Demons of Chaos, you can say maybe Tzeentch, and good analysis, but he's probably going Demons of Chaos. Wow, he is going Tzeentch. Interesting. My gut instinct is that Tomb Kings are happy to fight Tzeentch, but we'll see. Because people put up Christmas decorations the moment Halloween went. It makes it seem longer. Yeah, it has felt like forever that we've had these Christmas decorations up. And yes, I do remember the 21st night of September, Will. That song won me a round of my workplace has this Spotify weekly game where like someone puts up a prompt and you have to pick a song that fits the prompt. And September won for me 1 week. So good song. Dreadsorian. Depression can, in fact, do a lot to warp time, for sure. What? Incars is not a fan of taking this matchup. No, Art Splash, people are for sure that switchy around here. As soon as Halloween's done, the Christmas shit goes up. All right, Tomb Kings are about done with their build. Tzeentch is still working on it. I'm going to go to the bathroom. BRB. Hey, I'm back. Hey. I have returned. Did anybody here watch Avatar: The Way of Fire, and was it trash? Was it garbage? Two keys already. Let me see. Yep, that looks like a Tomb Kings build. Yep, there are tombs. Yep, there are kings. Holy, there's even some of those and some of these. Ugh, Tomb Kings build is is popping off. On the other side, Tzeentch has nothing selected yet. Nothing. Literally nothing. I'm looking at it. Not a single unit. Definitely not close to readying up. Y'all might as well order some DoorDash. It's going to be at least an hour and a half before this game starts, bro. 90, 95 minutes. $4.7 years ago. What that? Why is Bird typing to me? Yeah. I did not know the third James Avatar movie was even out, but I'll probably never watch it, just so I never watched the second one. I also never watched the second one. But what's weird is I liked the original Avatar. So I don't know why I didn't bother to see the second one and now the third one, but I just didn't, and I don't really feel a drive to go see them. Butcherbird just blew my mind. He's typing to me in Discord, and he reminded me that we don't have in-game chat, and I'm like, wait, in-game chat? And then I remembered Warhammer 2 had it, and I'm like, holy, core memory unlocked. Warhammer 2 had in-game chat. Yeah, Grieven, same. I thought Way of Water was actually much newer than it is. For sure. No doubt. Is it? Are the fourth and fifth ones confirmed, or is this going to end at some point? Because I thought James Cameron said something about the fourth and fifth ones had already started filming, but then he also made an angry Twitter post saying if people don't like his movies, then he'll just stop making them. I like how Scarbrand just keeps ending up on like the same build. Like behind the blocker, I'm watching him like come up with a build and then decide against it, switch up some things, end up back on the exact same build, switch up some things, end up back on the exact same build. I get it. I mean, I don't get it, I don't understand it, and I never will. I'll never forgive or forget, but I get it. You know what unit isn't good? And I'd probably be mad if it was good, but I also want it to be good. Flamers. Tzeentch Flamers are trash. And I kind of want them to be good, but I don't know. I can imagine that going poorly. They just shoot too high. That's the thing. Is even if you get a good flank and get a good shot on some infantry with them, they'll just shoot over the heads of most infantry and it'll hit like the back half a little bit, but I don't know, man. Flamers just blow. Gotta aim down. I saw you bought Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I hope you enjoy. We'll see. We'll see. Enjoyment might happen. I gotta beat Cuphead. Right now I'm playing Cuphead as my single player game. Cuphead's fun. Flamers are just non-obnoxious Changebringers. Yeah, Changebringers have a better angle of fire, I think, is the main thing that gets them so much damage. Oh no. My chair started doing the death croak. The croak where when you rock on it, it like, I don't know if you can hear that. It like creaks and squeaks a lot. I've WD-40'd it like 3 or 4 times, but I usually take it out in the garage and do that. And right now it's negative a billion out, so I don't want to go out and do that. Hey, Scarbrand's build done. Let's go. Playing a co-op? No. Grace does not enjoy punishing video games. Scarbrand did end up keeping most of his build intact, so we have Zarthoriel with a Forsaken front line and then a bunch of flyers versus Cetra double kitty cat. Nice to know that in my 25 years of absence, the Tomb King's meta has not changed. I also love how the cats were like a meme for a long time for how bad they were, and then they got reworked to be good, and since then they've been all the Tomb Kings ever take. It's just 2 giant cats. On review, you did not save as many as you thought. Oh, did you post the memes? Those are pretty good memes, Will. Darkest Dungeon is some masochism. I just never got on with Darkest Dungeon 2, man. I've tried it like 3 different times. I've started it and I just kind of didn't like it. And it's not that it's a bad game. It's just different. And I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted. Like the whole stagecoach thing was just kind of not my vibe. All right, what do we got for builds here? Triple Chaos Fury of Tzeentch, 2 Doom Knights of Tzeentch, and then double Screamer, one of which is the Shrieking Skyrays ROR, front line of 4 Forsaken, and then we have Zarthoriel, the Everwatcher, with Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. On the other side, for the Tomb Kings, 4 Skirmish Cavalry, Skeleton Horse Archers, then we have Skeleton Spearmen and Skeleton Warriors for as much chaff as possible. The ROR, Ushapti, Chosen of the Gods, ROR Sphinx Usef, Necro Sphinx, and then Cetra the Imperishable with Curse Blades and Vengeance for his spells, and then 1 Bone Giant for a bit of anti-Soul Grinder poke. Isn't 8 flyers illegal? I don't remember. We'll deal with it. If he wins, we'll figure it out. I'll pull up fruit rolls on the other thing. Unit variance, unit category. Flying units is 6. How many does he have? 2, 3. Yeah, he has too many. All right, he has too many. We'll deal with it when the game's over. Nothing we can do about it right now. If Tzeentch loses, then it doesn't matter anyway, right? Who's gonna kill the Sphinx? Nobody is the answer. Yeah, it could be Screamers, could be a Zarthoriel, but really not a lot there. Boy, what's your favorite matchup in the game? Probably Tomb King's Vampire Coast. I think that one's pretty fun, honestly. But enough theoreticals. We're here. We're right here in this video game. Forsaken trying to get up to the front line without taking too much damage from the Chosen of the Gods, which the Chosen of the Gods do seem to be getting distracted by these Doom Knights of Tzeentch. Doom Knights of Tzeentch are one of those very skill-expressive units where, like, the best players make them seem like the most obnoxious, unstoppable unit in the whole game, and then everybody else, they just suck and die. I'm definitely one of the suck and die players. My Doom Knights never do anything, but if you, like, appropriately cycle charge with them and stuff and refresh their barriers all the time, that unit's so damn obnoxious. So Zarthoriel is very much losing the fight to the Sphinx, and especially now that Tzeentch gave it a buff and Tzeentch's charging in, so this could be a disaster for Sartorial. Already a 2,000 advantage in the damage value department for the Tomb Kings, though this is the time that they would be getting ahead, of course, with a lot of ranged units shooting people on the way in. Tzeentch is going to drag the overcasted Final Transmutation away from the Sphinx and away from his own infantry, so nice dodge there of that spell, but you can only dodge so much of it, so it is still a good chunk of damage out from Sartorial, and, ooh, a Bolt of Change as well. A lot of damage down onto Tzeentch. Speaking of a lot of damage, the Forsaken are cleaving through infinite amounts of skeleton chaff. They are not worried about it at all, but these flyers are all chasing away the skirmish cavalry, taking some damage in return. Anybody who's not chasing the skirmish cav is having a bad time. The Sphinx is tearing apart these Doom Knights, who are now very low on HP. They can go get some barriers back, but they can't actually heal in any way. Which just reminded me, I had a dream that Kairos got his healing back. I didn't like that dream. That was a bad dream. Incantation of Vengeance is going to try and damage the Doom Knights. Still have a lot of models that the spell can get nearly full damage off on them, but they're so low on HP they are going to start losing models here very soon. Other Doom Knight is terror-outing away. Tzeentch is about 2,500 damage value behind, which is pretty significant as the Bone Giant is continuing to harass anybody who does fly away. Skirmish Cav retreating, still pulling Furies and Screamers around the map. But yeah, someone in chat was saying we are going to have some issues here with the double cats. There's not a lot that truly kills them off. Chosen of the Gods are going to crumble in nothingness, getting some last shots off on other Doom Knights as they go. But the Sphinx is... there's not a lot. Not a lot here to stop them. Forsaken getting pretty low on HP, half HP, a little less than half. Around a third. And that one's doing fine. That one's doing okay, but Tzeentch can cycle charge that one away, right? Doom Knights routed off. Chosen of the Gods rally. 8 out of 12 models, actually, so still most of their damage potential is here. Especially if they could get a couple cluster shots onto those Forsaken that are still healthy, that would be very good. Doom Knights suiciding to try and get the Chosen of the Gods crumbling once again, but does not look to be the case. They will just have to kill them au naturel with Sartorial helping out. Furies fading away. Doom Knights routing again and again. Now it does look like the Chosen of the Gods are doomed, but we lost both Doom Knights to achieve that. Damage value does spike up to a 3,000 lead, and Tzeentch gets hit with another Final Transmutation. It is overcast as well, and it looks like the Sartorial might chase him and try and keep the fight going. Not a lot of 2-for-1 Final Transmutations. The first one was dragged away from the Sphinx, and the other one was just opportunistic onto Tzeentch, and another Bolt of Change. So he's really trying to Lord Snipe the Tomb Kings out. That would help get the crumbling to go even faster. I wonder if it'll be enough. Skirmish Cav have taken a lot of damage from the Flyers. 2 of them look like they're going to crumble away no matter what you do. 1 of them is also still under attack. So that's a good progress. Tomb King's infantry are about a spent force. We have enough Forsaken left to kill this last one too, so the Tomb King's infantry really isn't much of a problem, though the Bone Giant hitting Sartorial is a problem. Another overcasted Final Transmutation and another Bolt of Change onto Tzeentch will probably finish him off. Tzeentch is looking okay in this game. Not great. I wouldn't say they're favored right now or anything, but they're doing okay. As the Bone Giant snipes out some Doom Knights, shatters them away. Bounce power is still pretty bad for Tzeentch, but not army losses just yet as Sartorial tries to get some cycle charging in. Though the Sphinx Usef does not seem to want to let that go, forcing Sartorial to walk sideways as he tries to get to safety. Doom Knight's going to throw themselves into the fire to distract for just 1 second, but the Sphinx swings anyway, does some good damage to Sartorial, who gets into the sky regardless. As you're mentioning before, Forsaken going to finish off the last of these Skeleton Warriors rather easily, and I think we should have another Final Trans coming in for Tzeentch soon, judging off the pacing of the other two. And he has Arcane Conduit, yeah, he has great Arcane Conduit, so he's even going to land on Tzeentch. We'll fight back a little bit. We are fighting on top of Screamers and Forsaken, so it should be a decent fight for Sartorial. Bone Giant still healthy, a lot of ammo. Firing at Sartorial at point-blank range, shouldn't be able to miss. But he gets distracted by some Forsaken at his feet. And Sartorial did get a rework. He's not such a bad melee combatant anymore. Ooh! Giant shoots him in the back of the head, gets double damage on him. And army losses is getting very close. He's going to throw in the towel. And that'll be a 2-0 for Butcherbird, who heads on to the final. Dark Dungeon 2 early game is also miserable, makes the first one seem pleasant. You need so many runs for basic mechanics. GG's. We have another semifinal waiting for us. Seos and Berserk should be ready, so I will just scroll through the values quickly, but I don't think anything will really surprise us too much. Skirmish Cav did fine. Chosen Gods did okay. Bone Giant did okay, but yeah, it was the double Sphinxes doing a lot of the heavy lifting. GG's, lads. Now on to Seos and Burs. I'll get a code from them soon. Figure out what lobby they're in. Yeah, several people in chat were saying that's a rough matchup for Tzeentch, and it did look like it. The Sphinxes are tough, and I don't think Tzeentch has a lot of mobile anti-large armor piercing. Doom Knights are not anti-large or armor piercing. None of their Chaos Knights are. Were Seos and Berserk supposed to wait for you? Middle. I texted Seos, so he asked me if they're supposed to wait for me or not. I said, ideally, yes, but we can also do replays if you guys are busy and want to keep moving. They have not answered since then, so I presume they started. I presume. So we'll see. If they did already start, I'll just have them shoot me whatever replays they currently have, whether the series is done or not. They are playing, yes. All right. Curiho, it seems like you're in one of their chats watching or whatever. Do you know where they're at? Like, are they in a game and it's pretty much done or what? Where are the Vermin Lords? Okay. So, the other semifinal has already played. And I personally really like casting replays because it just goes faster. So I have told the finalists to get started. So Butcherbird versus Blank is going to be underway. And we're going to cast the other thing as replays. Okay, I just need to move my blocker a little bit so it blocks more of the screen, so you get an even closer of muscly Ricarth. All right, so who sent me these replays? Seos sent me the replays, so Sego's name will be on the left side. Let's go find out who's gonna fight Butcherbird. Odium Seos versus VM's Berserk. All right. Let's do this. Hey, we get more Tzeentch. Seos brought the Empire for game 1 versus Berserk's Tzeentch, who went with a changeling build. Stupid, sexy dark elves. Let's go. Did I bring the blocker down? We did. Okay, brought the blocker down. So we will be casting this semifinal as replays, and the finals will get going. So hopefully the action today will be a little quicker from this point on. Live games are nice, and it is intense to like know that the winner hasn't been decided yet and stuff. But as a caster, it is actually nice to do replays because you can just bang them out. Don't have to wait around. Don't have to fill time. All right, for the builds, the Empire has 5 Free Company Militia, 3 Knights of the Black Rose, 2 Empire Knights. We have a Steam Tank Master Engineer, a Lifecaster with Earthblood and Regrowth, and a front line of Spears. On the other side, for Tzeentch, we have Shrieking Skyrays and other Screamers, a front line of Pink Horrors, Exalted Pink Horrors and Blue Horrors, and then we have a bunch of Forest Troops, 2 Forsaken, Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch of Metal with his Skull of Catan, but no Final Transmutation, so we have Gehenna's Golden Hounds, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom, and then the Changeling switched into the Green Knight. I like that a lot, actually, versus the Empire, because of Steam Tanks, land ships, which I think land ships are banned, but I don't remember offhand. Anyway, you get onto them, you hit them with that Frostbite, and then just armor-piercing the shit out of them as a Ghost Man. It's pretty pog. Blue Horrors getting shut down by the Empire Knights as Exalted Pink Horrors are going to fire up and over the top. I wonder why he went with Exalted Pink Horrors. This seems like a weird matchup for that. Actually, generally that unit seems pretty bad, but it's Berserk. I'll trust him for now. Green Knight piles into the back line, is going to cause some disruption. Not a lot of magic damage here for the Empire to really stop him. So he's feeling good about his situation. Shrieking Skyrays flying through the back line as the Free Company fire up into them, getting rid of their barriers super quickly. These Empire Knights are feeling rather uncontested. They can cycle charge quite a lot. The only mass for Tzeentch right now is the Screamers, though we do have Empire Knights getting caught with a Searing Doom. Ouch, that's going to be a 2-for-1. A Spearman also charge into it. It's a pretty brutal spell cast there on the side of Tzeentch. Empire's Steam Tank Lord is trying to get some momentum going. Screamer's currently holding him in place. He's just stuck in some Blue Horrors. And a Regrowth for who? Regrowth for the Knights of the Black Rose. Yeah, that's solid. It's not overcast, but it's fine. Are they on fire right now, though? No, they're not on fire right now, actually. Surprisingly, considering all the blue and pink horrors around, but their healing is not getting mitigated. Free Company Militia trying to get shots off, but I see a lot of obstructed signs on them, so it looks like they're having difficulties firing uphill into these fights. Forsaken are blending through the Empire State troops without much issue, and the cavalry are having difficulties truly getting through these Blue Horror and Screamer front lines. Now, they are getting decent damage down. We can see a lot of demonic instability is about to occur on this left flank. On the right flank, things are a little bit better, however. I don't see what kills the Green Knight, though. That's going to be a big problem for the Empire. I suppose they'll save him for last and just hope they have enough meat left to throw at him until he eventually attritions out, as we're starting to lose some of those demonic units. Sorcerer of Tzeentch is chasing around the Empire's tank, but the Empire's tank does not care. It just murders. Empire Knight still trying to hold back these Forsaken as pistols shoot uphill. Again, that is a really rough angle for them to be shooting. Basic archers don't like firing uphill, but at least they get a bit of up and down movement. This is just straight shots uphill, which is really, really rough. Last of the Blue Horrors holding on for now. Exalted Pinks getting very low, but the Shrieking Skyrays are trying to use them as bait to get these Knights of Black Rose. Knights of Black Rose have 51 melee defense, though, so even with the anti-large, Shrieking Skyrays are going to have a difficult time truly clearing them out quickly, and the Pink Horrors will die while that is occurring. Forsaken about to rout. Bounce power is roughly even, though it is a little Tzeentch favored. Once again, though, a lot of demonic instability left on the table, and that can shift things super quickly. When those demonic units start fading away, the bounce power usually tanks. All right, Berserk hunting down the Jade Wizard, and the terror provided by the Changeling Green Knight does actually route him pretty much on the charge, and he is going to keep going after that Jade Wizard. Still some shots coming in out of the Forsaken, but yeah, largely Seos just has to ignore the Changeling. He knows he can't get a lot of damage onto that single entity ghost character, at least not quickly enough to matter. Knights of the Black Rose still harassing those Exalted Pink Horrors. Up on the high ground, we have 2 an Exalted Pink Horror and a Blue Horror, they're both so close to demonic instability crumbling, but just not quite yet. The OCD in me wants them to just go away, disappear. Ooh. The Changeling has absolutely steel-chaired the Jade Wizard, though. That is brutal. Just pushing him around, punting him, but whenever he gets shots in, like a quarter of the Jade Wizard's HP goes away. As the Forsaken continue to eat Free Company Militia for breakfast. We have one healthy Forsaken left. The other two are pretty low, but they're still doing good work. Other Free Company Militia are rejoining the fight to try and get some damage out. The Changeling just will not give up on trying to kill this Jade Wizard, and there's literally nothing the Empire can do about it. You saw some Knights of Black Rose there got in his way for like 2 seconds, and then they just left because they realized it wasn't worth it. Except for this Knight of the Black Rose is stuck on him. There we go. As soon as that wore off, he is going to run down that guy. So the Empire caster is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Some of the Tzeentch infantry is attritioning out. Those Exalted Pink Horrors did survive the Knights of the Black Rose charge. And a beautiful Gehenna's Golden Hounds takes out an entire Spearman unit. Pushes some other things off the battlefield too. Balance power is still 50-50. But I just look at this Changeling and I'm like, what's actually gonna stop him? A lot of balance of power locked up in this Master Engineer. That is no good versus the Changeling. Empire Knights charge downhill. They will block the Green Knights charge, allowing the Master Engineer to get away. Master Engineer is actually going to try and help out in this high ground situation. With his cannon shots at point blank range, he can get some really good damage down these Forsaken and Blue Horrors and whatnot. Other Knights of the Black Rose get a downhill charge on the already damaged Exalted Pink Horrors. Should be able to get them to Demonic Instability Crumble any second now. Really nice Overcast of Plague of Rust on these Empire Knights that are currently in combat with Forsaken. Forsaken have low armor piercing values, so reducing the armor of the Empire Knights makes them pretty easy for the Forsaken to kill, but Seos, seeing it happen, does back off very quickly. The Green Knight plus a Bolt of Change take the Master Engineer down to half HP already. As we've been flagging this whole game, that is going to be a big problem for the Empire to deal with. They're busy right now just still trying to clean up anything that's not the Green Knight. See, these Exalted Pink Horrors are crazy low. We're going to get a nice little charge down onto these Forsaken, who are decently low. And a downhill charge from some cavalry. Good return damage from the Forsaken, but a decent charge for the Knights of Black Rose, who are already so low that you might as well just get what value you can out of them. Green Knight has slowed our Master Engineer friend down to 24 speed. Cannot get away from that ghost. Not now, not ever. As more Tzeentchian demonic units fade away, Forsaken are routing, leaving just the Shrieking Skyrays at half HP, a nearly full health Changeling, and about a half health Chaos Sorcerer, but that's about it. Other Forsaken are routing as well. Tzeentch is getting down to the dregs, like we predicted all game, but like we predicted all game, the very big and important problem in the middle of the map is still full HP. Have some Free Company Militia back, who are gonna offer a little bit of damage. In comes a Searing Doom. Knights of the Black Rose try and dodge it, but they're a little slow on the draw. Shrieking Skyray is probably going to fade away soon, but the Changeling's also going to kill the Master Engineer, and with him is going to be army losses. Wow, army losses before he even dies, but can't disagree. Changeling was a pretty sick pick. 2,300 value so far, and he's probably going to get another 150 from this last charge. Yeah, he got about 150 there. How do you like your Wood Elf build? It was pretty good. It was cool. No infantry, though, which makes me sad. It's the boy Hummus you returned to us. Is Hummus the white? Technically, he was brown before. Damn. Damn, son. But yes, I am back. Spearman did okay. Free Company Militia underperformed. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of Free Company Militia from Empire players these days, and I don't know why, but in my experience, they always underwhelm me. But I don't know. There must be a reason people are bringing them. For Berserk, his caster and Changeling got a lot of value out. Blue Horrors really struggled. Exalted Pinks also did not get their value back. Screamers did well. Forsaken did well. Changeling and caster did well. GG's will give Berserk his dub. Onwards and outwards to game 2. Seos pulling out the Greenskins in his time of need. Berserk on Norska. DLC Norska. Let's go. For Seos, his tournament life on the line, we have the 2 Regiment of Renown, Skirmish Cavalry for the Greenskins, Morgamenji Marauders, and Deaf Creepas. Then we have Goblin Spear Frontline, Orc Boy Spear Frontline, Night Goblin Warboss with his Rampage and Net, Savage Orc Boar Boys, and Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Then we have Ruglins, Armored Orcs, the Swamp Things, and a Giant River Troll Hag with Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech. Not Fate of Buna. On the other side for Berserk, we have a Chimera up in the sky. Sail the Faithless, his missile spell is banned because it fires multiple times in a row and neither player can stop that from happening, so it's just bugged. But he didn't take it. He has Chain Lightning and Wind Blast plus his Night Maw. Then we have some Skirmish Cav, including the Regiment of Renown, some Norskin Ice Wolves, and in the way background we have a Norskin War Mammoth with a War Shrine, some Berserkers, some Jav Throwers, Marauder Bearmen, and 2 Norskin Ice Trolls. Haven't touched the game in a while. DLC worth jumping in. There's Norskin DLC, so that's pretty good, right? Hard to go wrong with a Norskin DLC. Ooh, nasty breath attack to start off. Hits both Ruglins Armored Orcs and some Orc Boy Spears. About a 3rd HP off both of them. How much was that breath attack worth? 350 value on a breath attack. Damn! Damn, son. Marauder Horsemen throwing axes get rampaged into goblins, though I imagine most of the damage will actually come from the Broken Tusk Mob countercharge, and then the Sword of Torment locking these guys in place after the rampage wears out. Most likely, though we do get a Chain Lightning on top of the Broken Tusk Mob and the Goblin Spear, so actually that ends up being a really good trade for Norska. Overcast Wind Blast, too. Trying to slow them down so they can't get away from the Norskin Ice Trolls, lowering their speed down to 21. A lot of damage back onto the Greenskins from that Chain Lightning combo. Brutal. Norskins are advancing through the trees. Greenskins trying to reform their lines and get in position. As Savage Orc Boar Boy is getting run down by Norskin Ice Wolves, that is a slow. They're down to 49 speed because of the Frostbite. Night Goblin Warboss is thinking about taking this fight, though there's a lot of Norskins nearby and a lot of slows. Norskin Ice Trolls have a slow. The Norskin Ice Wolves have a slow. A lot. Chimera jumps in, adding some terror, and this is looking like a really rough engagement for the Greenskins. They've already lost several of their boar units, and now another one's about to rout away. Spite of the Bad Moon is down to provide a little bit of bonus for Sarge, but it's too late. And now the only thing left over here is the Greenskin Lord. 3 different boar units all got pushed away over there, which is rough. Frontline fight. Mammoth going nuts, terror routing away some Orc Boys with spears. Norskin Ice Trolls helping out. Marauder Berserkers, Marauder Bearmen also doing pretty well. And Sail's just chilling. Yeah, he's not too worried about much. Overcasted Doom and Darkness just try and get something to happen over here for the Greenskins. Push away some of the Norskin units, but their leadership's too high. Especially with the Riders of the Mighty Serpent just standing around causing fear, providing +8 leadership. It's a toughie. Good rear charge in from them. Terror outs away some of these dogs. But already the River Trolls are routing. Night Goblin Warboss has taken some damage from the Chimera. Bounce power shifting against the Greenskins. Now they have one flank that's going pretty well, and they have all of their archers absolutely pin cushioning the War Mammoth, so that's a pretty big win for them, which so far things have not been going their way. In comes that weird Void Maw thing from Sail. Does a good chunk onto Ruglin's Armored Orcs, but they'll hold for now, though there are some trolls on their face, which will make that a little more difficult to hold at this point. Norskin Ice Wolves were trying to run down the River Trolls, but they get countercharged by the Broken Tusk Mob plus the Night Goblin Warboss. They should be routing soon. The second charge of the Greenskins, buffed up by a Wa, is really helping them get back in this game. Still, there's a Chimera that's very healthy, and you have to deal with that at some point. Another Chain Lightning rips through these guys, and as soon as the Wa's immune to psychology wears off, we will be seeing some terror outs here. It is just a matter of time. Doom and Darkness down from the Greenskins onto the Norskins, but that War Mammoth providing a little bit of extra leadership. Hold on. How much extra leadership do these guys have? So we have battle songs. and then favor the Ruinous Powers. Wow. The War Mammoth plus the Riders of the Mighty Serpent provide like 18 AoE leadership to whoever they're around. So this is just a pro leadership build for the side of Norska. Bounce power has stabilized for the Greenskins a bit though. It's not trending downwards anymore, as we have another Night Maw ripping through these Orc boys and goblins. Damn, that's really nice damage from Sail. They're both routing just as they start to say some nice things. The Swamp Things plus the Broken Tusk Mob trying to hold for now, getting good damage on the War Shrine Mammoth, getting good damage on the Ice Trolls, but still there's a full health Chimera. Still Sail is quite healthy, and there's a lot of Norscan infantry left in this game. For the Greenskins, we have some tattered remains coming back. We have 2 Skirmish Cav who are almost out of ammunition, but high HP. And then we do have the River Troll and the Night Goblin War Boss who are relatively healthy. It's most of what's holding down the balance of power here, but I don't know what of those things kills the Berserkers, as we currently have Berserkers just surrounding the single entities. Gonna get a lot of damage chopping them down. Bounce power shifts pretty far against the Greenskins, bordering on army losses. Get back here is procced to make sure the giant River Troll Hag doesn't tear out or anything like that. Morgan's Major Marauders are still firing in. Mammoth down to 1500 HP. There comes the terror out for the River Troll. There comes army losses, it looks like. And that's going to be a 2-0 to Berserk, who has started the finals against Butcherbird. Kyle, member for 15 months. What up? First live since I caught your glorious return. Welcome back, Hummus. Welcome back, Kyle. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. For Segos, his single entities didn't get a ton of value. Savage Orc Boar Boys did fine. Orc Boar Biggins did okay. His Skirmish Cav both did well. The Roof Trolls did not do very much. Aside for Berserk, oof. Sail got huge value. Bearmen did okay. Berserkers did fine. Skirmish Cav did okay. Dogs did alright. Norscan Ice Trolls actually got good value. Chimera did well. And the War Mammoth was around. It was helping out. Tanking shots. So I don't need to put a blocker up at this point because no one knows what the finals are yet. We've just gotten game 1 because game 1 just happened. But I don't need to blocker that because it's the only one that exists. So let's check out game 1 between Butcherbird and Berserk. That's double Chimera Beastmen. Cool, cool, cool. Kyle sent 1 membership. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let me just update the scoreboard. Since Butcherbird is sending us the replays, we will put him on the left side. And these finals are in progress. We're just a little behind on the timing. And just for ease of casting, we're just going to let them play ahead of us while we cast replays. We might catch up to them. If they go to game 3, we'll probably catch up to them just because of how long pick and bans and builds can take when you're at this high of level. So we'll see. If it's a 2-0, then we probably won't catch up, obviously, because they're playing game 2 now. All right, Butcherbird versus Berserk. This is the final. 2 very good players. Not surprised to see either of them in the finals. We have Centaurs and Centaurs with great weapons for the Beastmen. Triple Slongor frontline mixed in with Ungor Spearman herds. Double Chimera and Malagor Dark Omen with just Flock of Doom. On the other side for the Dark Elves, almost said the Beastmen again. Doesn't make any sense. You're stupid, human boy. You're dumb. You're dumb. Okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. We have Rakarth, nearly naked, which is why he's our blocker for the day with Whiplash and Beast Lord's Gaze. We have the Crows of Cain, Harpy Regiment around that can heal, some Blackheart Corsair handbows, and then a front line of Blackheart Corsairs and Bleak Swords, then a shit ton of cavalry. 3 Doomfire Warlocks, one of which is Slaanesha's Harvesters. We have a Sorceress of Dark with Doombolt and Bladewind, and then we have a different Sorceress of Beasts with nothing, just the Dark Star Cloak. So it looks like he really wants extra Winds of Magic generation is the reason he brought the second caster. It's weird. I don't necessarily know if it's worth it just to bring a second caster purely for that, but yeah. Mr. Casual with the 5 subs. Thank you. Thank you, sir. And we're off. Slongors charging right into those Bleak Swords. Bleak Swords are going to have an abysmal time, though it does look like we have a Doom Bolt coming in. It's a bound Doom Bolt on the Slongors, but joke's on you, it just made them more powerful. So the Beastmen should be winning the frontline fight overall. Ooh, that is a nasty Blade Wind, however. Pretty good engagement for the Centaurs to get started. Already killed a Dark Rider, but the Blade Wind taking out nearly an entire Slongor is quite rough. Centaur's going to opt back into the fight over there. And the double Chimeras have committed to the fight. One Dark Rider is already routing away. The Crows of Cain are down to about half HP and falling as Centaurs and Chimeras fight all together. Rakarth hops in. He has Beast Lord's Gaze down on this Doomfire Warlock to make sure they don't run away. Slaanesha's Harvesters are going to get a beautiful rear charge in on these Beastmen. That should get these Centaurs to rout. Just too much is going on to them, so they're going to run away. Yes, they are. But the double Chimeras are still here. The double Chimeras are still doing well. And Flock of Dooms are punishing those Doomfire Warlocks. On the other side, Slongors, like we had said, they are doing well against the Bleak Swords, but the problem was a Blade Wind chewed up that one. I think that was the one that maybe got hit by the Doom Bolt, so there has been some spell support and whatnot. All the Centaurs that were involved in this fight took a lot of damage and ran away, but the Chimeras are still very healthy and chewing up Slaanesha's Harvesters like it's nobody's business. Whiplash gave them 50% more damage, and it is keeping them in this fight for now as they get another Centaur off the field, but they just can't do much damage to these Chimeras right now. Rakarth is backed away, did not want to get Lord Sniped or anything like that. Meanwhile, the double casters are both just Darkstar, Cloak, chewing up Winds of Magic, getting Doom Bolts, getting Blade Winds out as quickly as they can. So Doom Bolts would be good at killing these Chimeras, I believe. Blackguard Corsair Handbows directly underneath them, firing upwards, could also do some decent damage, but that's really all I'm seeing that can deal with the Chimeras on the Dark Elf side. And they're using Doom Bolts on Centaurs right now, but I think he might need to focus up and kill the Chimeras with those. Because in melee, honestly, those two Chimeras can kill everything left in the Dark Elf army. Chimeras are strong, plus the Dark Elves are just tattered. Doombolt is not banned. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. Chimera's going to land in on Doomfire Warlocks, who are they naturally ITP, or is it just Frenzy giving them ITP? I wonder. We'll see when the Frenzy wears off if they still have ITP. Here comes the Doombolt on the Chimera. If it gets back into the sky, it can maybe dodge it, and it's overcast, so it really needs to dodge it if possible, because it's about to take a bunch of damage. He's trying to dodge, does not, and you can see the massive damage that comes down from it. Massive damage from the Doombolts. So yeah, the Doombolts have to be used on the Chimeras. As Chimeras start to get their last breath attacks out, Flock of Doom is down. Soul Blight from the Dark Elves back onto the Beastmen, but Soul Blight doesn't really matter that much. The Flock of Doom is beautiful, the Chimera charging in is beautiful, and yes, Doomfire Warlocks only have ITP as long as they have Frenzies. We see a big Terror out coming in now. Really big win for the Beastmen right here in this engagement. We have some Slongors trying to come back, but the main thing is all these Dark Elves routing. If the Centaurs can just keep pushing through this fight and leave the Chimeras behind, they can chase off a lot of Dark Elf units right now. And remember, this balance of power is a little artificial for the Dark Elves. We have two full health casters here, but they are, one, both sharing a same Winds of Magic pool, and two, one of them doesn't even have any spells. So those characters are pretty meaningless as far as the balance of power, the true who has odds of winning this game balance of power. But on the actual balance of power, they're going to look at like a 600 gold character and give it a decent chunk. Looks like Butcherbird has correctly identified which caster has spells, but another overcasted Doombolt takes almost half HP off that Chimera in one shot. The Doombolt's doing so much work since they got refocused onto the single entities. They do a ton of damage there. Rakarth is taking big damage from a Chimera. This might be one beast you can't tame, sir. As the Crows of Cain hop in, give a little bit of support. Bleak Swords here also supporting, but Malagor and the boys going to tear out off Rakarth. Doombolts may be strong. Doombolts may be chunking HP off the single entities, but not quickly enough to save Rakarth. And if he dies, it's probably GG. Too many units are going to run away. Army losses will probably take hold and give Butcherbird game one. If there's another Doombolt right now that hits this Chimera, kills it, and happens to not friendly fire, splash damage kill the other one, maybe the Dark Elves have a hope in this game, but unless the next Doombolt kills both of them, I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's going to happen. Terror Out takes away the other caster. Now only the Doombolt caster remains. I don't see a spell coming out of her in time. She is going to Terror Out. That is army losses. The Beastmen win game one. All right, Butcherbird was typing in the chat, so they might still be in the lobby, and we might hop in for game 2 live. If they're not in the lobby, then game 2 is just starting, in which case I will play a quick battle or something just to entertain the stream. Okay. Yeah, they loaded into game, so we'll do a quick battle or something. Chimeras both did pretty well. Slongors got decent value considering how heavily they were focused. Centaurs chased everything off. For Berserk, Rakarth didn't get a lot of value. His Doombolt caster got 1750, which is pretty darn nice. Blacker Corsairs did well. Dark Riders got largely shellacked. Doomfire Warlocks did pretty well. That's GG. So, actually not a quick battle. I'm going to change the text on this just a little bit. There. I just want people that pop in to be clear that the replay we're about to watch is not finals. Waiting on finals. There we go. This is from this tournament. It was an earlier game between Darth Plagueis and Berserk. But it was a good game, so we can cast it while we wait. I know the end result. Oh, I have spoilers. This is just from an earlier round. Fill in time while the players are in game. Chaos Dwarves of Darth Plagueis versus Berserk's Empire. For Darth Plagueis, we have a Deathstreaker rocket launcher, double Infernal Castellan, a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire on foot with Fireball and Burning Head, 4 Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows, 2 Bull Centaur Renders with the shields, not great weapons, and then some Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits with a Chaos Dwarf Warrior frontline. On the other side, for the Empire, we have an Amber Spear caster, Flock of Doom as well. Amber Spear starts off on the Deathstreaker rocket launcher. Then we have an Engineer, a Master Engineer with Restock to give War Wagons even more ammunition, and then 3 War Wagons. Some Empire Knights, Spearmen frontline, and again, man, I'm telling you, everybody's taking Free Company Militia now, and I don't know what's the deal with that. 5 Free Company Militia, 2 Empire Knights. Fireball onto the Amber Wizard does a little bit of damage. Deathstreak rocket launcher, not sure what he's firing at now, but yeah, War Wagons is a good target. Get good shots off onto those guys, knock down their model count, knock down their damage pretty quick. Master Engineer is moving up. He does have his grenade launcher when he's on horse, so he's not very good against single entities. The Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits get a lot of damage onto him with their first volley. Deathstreak rocket launchers doing good work on the War Wagons to start out. There's another Amber Spear is coming. Fireball trade with the Amber Spear. So the Deathstreak rocket launcher down to half HP, the Amber Wizard down to half HP as well. And the rockets continue to rain in onto the hapless War Wagons. We lose a model. On the other side, Empire Knights. We're taking a brief little fight, but they get quickly chased away by the Bull Centaur Renders. That is not a fight they want. Yeah, they're running. They don't want nothing to do with that no more. Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits get killed by a Mercurial shot down the side, it looks like. Well, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the Engineer has 53 kills, so it must have been the Mercurial shot down the side. War Wagons managed to dodge one of the rocket shots. Another Fireball's coming in, and that also hits the ground, so pretty unlucky little series of events there for the Chaos Dwarfs. But the Hobgoblin Wolf Raider bows, not going to overextend towards the War Wagons. Not that they're maybe going to chase that a little more aggressively, maybe go into melee or something, but we have 2 Empire Knights coming over to peel that away. The Deathstreak rocket launcher continues to just get good, consistent value. A lot of shots going towards the Engineer. He's pretty hard to hit. He is very small, very quick. Quick breakdown of the meta and which factions are good. The 3 DLC factions are all very good. Skaven are still solid. Greenskins are still pretty solid. Haven't been seeing a lot of Ogre Kingdoms recently. Khorne is still very strong. Dark Elves are still very strong. Tomb Kings are still pretty strong. I think a lot of the undead aren't doing too well. I think Tomb Kings are okay. Coast and Vampire counts seem to be down in the dumps a little bit. Empire seems okay at like higher levels, but if you're not like one of literally the best players, the Empire looks like they're struggling. Beastmen are pretty strong. I don't know. There's kind of a lot of factions that are doing well. There's a couple that are OP, but not that many, and there are a couple that are struggling, but not that many. It really feels quite balanced at the moment, in my opinion, but I haven't played a ton yet. I've played a good amount, and it feels nice, but yeah, need a couple more games. So, the Amber Wizard is almost dead from Fireball spam. The Deathstreak Rock Launcher continues to try and punish the War Wagons, though a couple shots have missed if they keep moving. That's about it so far. Berserk, deciding he doesn't like how this early game is going to get engaged in melee here soon, as Free Company have moved up to get some shots off on these guys. Hobgoblin Sneaky Git's going to fight Empire Spearman for a little bit. Spearman should win that due to having a significant health advantage over that specific one, but the other ones should go pretty well for the Hobgoblins. Bull Centaur renders. Have to sneeze. Excuse me. Ugh. Anyway, Bull Centaur renders trying to chase these Empire Knights. Honestly, I wonder if one of the Hobgoblins should just fight them in melee for a second and let the Bull Centaurs catch up and get a good rear charge down, but we'll see. One of the War Wagons is still at 3 out of 4 models despite taking a ton of HP. That really sucks for the Deathstreak Rock Launcher because it does so much damage per shot that it really doesn't want to like waste them on things like that. That's pretty unfortunate. Empire Knights do get onto the rocket launcher, and they might take it out before the Bull Centaurs can stop them. Yeah, they get rid of its leadership. It's going to rout. We'll see if it can rally as the Bull Centaurs push them off, getting a ton of damage on the way. Chaos Dwarves are up on the balance of power. And the Bull Centaurs still trying to catch up with these Empire Knights on the far side. War Wagons have moved in. Now they're not afraid of too much here. I think they just want to get a couple shots on the Deathstreaker and reroute it. See, yeah, there go all the red arrows. Pew, 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 pew. And it's dead. Without that consistent damage on the War Wagons, Berserk's going to be feeling a lot better. Still low on the balance of power, though. Frontline fight, the Empire heavily outnumbers the Chaos Dwarves if you count Free Company Militia as a bit of both. We still have double Infernal Castellan running around. I don't know what they've been shooting at all game. Their shots are hard to track. 300 value, 300 value-ish each. Burning Head through multiple state troops, kills some of them off. That's neat. 2 War Wagons are now very low from skirmish fire from the Deathstreak Rock Launcher, and it looks like the Bull Centaurs maybe got a couple hits in here and there. Only 1 healthy War Wagon left. Over here, Bull Centaur renders get a different fight with other Empire Knights. Getting a couple scraps in on them. Their HP is low, but they should still be able to beat the Empire Knights with just much higher stats, and significant armor piercing is nice. And the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are running over here to be annoying. Harass the Empire Knights that are in battle with the Bull Centaur renders. Pick off some of the War Wagons. We have been focusing a lot on the mobility fight. The infantry fight is just a slow grind against some Chaos Dwarf warriors, and the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits were destroyed, so yeah, this is really what matters as far as the game's gonna go. War Wagons end up in melee with the Bull Centaur renders. They don't like that. They start to retreat down to 3 models. Other one's still at 2. The Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders just can't manage to get in range and some shots off on these War Wagons, because that would end them pretty quickly. Even shielded, the Bull Centaur renders are not going to have a good time facing the War Wagons. War Wagons were designed to kill cavalry that's pursuing them like this, and they're faster than the Bull Centaur renders, so rip in peace. And I would say you're at least using up their ammo, but we know that the enemy Lord has restock, which will be a bit of a problem. Another Burning Head rips through 2 Spearmen that are fighting the Castellans right now. And the Chaos Dwarves still have a slight lead on the balance of power. Just a teeny tiny little lead for now, but it is still technically there. As the Bull Centaur render that still has a bit of HP is returning to the main battlefield. Berserk's rallying his War Wagons, lost 1 off the battlefield. Still has 1 with 4 models and another with 2 for now. Cool, cool. State troops trying to fight the Castellans, but the Castellans are much better in melee than they are, obviously, and there's some Overwatch fire from the Sorcerer Prophet going on. Master Engineer's just trying to use his grenade launcher to good effect wherever he can, getting rid of some Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, and this is where the Free Company Militia shine. Fighting a different unit that's also terrible in melee, they can beat Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows. Maybe even basic Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, honestly, because Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are trash. They will not beat Bull Centaurs, however, who go charging in, take 300 damage off of them on the charge, and we'll finish them off pretty quickly after that. But the War Wagons are back, the bounce power shifting back to being 50-50. I would tend to agree, as the Castellans are now starting to poke with their little sniper rifles towards the Engineer. I mean, there's maybe hope. There's maybe hope that the Castellans can just finish this game out where, like, no one can kill them and they can slowly chunk everything down, maybe. Bull Centaur still trying to clear out the last of the state troops with some Chaos Dwarfs support. Sorcerer Prophet joining up with his Castellans. And the Engineer may have bitten off more than he can chew. He's fighting some spooky Bull Centaurs. Another burning head through Free Company Militia. I would have liked to see more fireballs at this point. Just fireball the Master Engineer, who is on horse. He doesn't have that much armor. Fireball the Engineer. Maybe fireball the War Wagon that was super low, though that one might already be dead. That looks like the Castellans might have finished it off. But I don't know. I don't think Burning Head is a good use of your Winds of Magic at this point. Everything's so low that you can probably just beat it in melee anyway. Really got to take out the War Wagons and Hero and Lord. Bull Centaurs are going to rout, leaving us just with our Hero Core. It's the Castellan and the Sorcerer Prophet getting decent damage out. Empire Knights are coming back, though they're very low on HP. How many restocks does this guy have left? 3? So the War Wagons are pretty much never running out of ammo at this point. Neither's the Engineer. They have to die. Good shot from one of the Castellans down onto the Master Engineer. Looks like he snuck one in there past the Spearman. Sorcerer Prophet's trying to ring around the rosy, get behind the Spearmen so that maybe some of the War Wagon shots miss, or maybe they get obstructed or something, and then he ends up just diving into the Spearmen to get a little bit of safety from those pesky War Wagon shots. Chaosdwarf Warriors getting hit with grenade launcher shots as they try and return. The War Wagons are just trying to find an angle on this guy. He is going to use Burning Head. It'll hit 2 Spearmen. It will get good damage on those Spearmen. Takes away his own cover. But at this point, he doesn't have long to keep shooting fireballs or anything. As you can see, as soon as the Spearmen are gone, his health just gets chunked out. So, wanted to clear out some Spearmen so that his Infernal Castellans didn't have to grind through all those guys. That one makes sense. Castellans do have armor piercing and bonus versus large in melee. They do have sniper rifles, so they're pretty solid against cavalry. Just didn't want to be stuck in infantry while they dealt with it. In comes an Empire Knight charge. Out goes an Empire Knight charge. And every moment you delay, the Castellans will just keep taking pot shots at you, like they are currently shooting at this Master Engineer. I saw a big splurt of blood, but I didn't actually see him lose any health, so that was interesting. Sorcerer Prophet is gone. Infernal Castellan just took a lot of damage from something. It looks like this Engineer is currently sniping out these fools. Yeah, he's getting a lot of damage done. Free Company Militia also firing in. Sorcerer Prophet very, very close to dead. And when he dies, we'll probably lose these Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with bows as well. Engineer's just going to finish him off with the next volley. Where's the Engineer going? Alright, he got him anyway. Castellans left all alone. Balance of power is tragically bad for them. We have some more wagons recommitting to the fight. Those were the healthy ones, so they've taken a lot of damage since we last checked in on them, but yeah, it was a close game. The Empire is very, very low. That does look like Berserk is going to win this one, especially with that Castellan routing. It's down to just 1, and GG. Not even for the leadership debuff in Kindle Flame. The Burning Head? Burning Head was good. I just didn't know about that last one that... Not the last one. The last one he used was fine because his Lord was almost dead at that point. But the one he used before that, the second to last one, was not ideal in my opinion. It was a little over anxious. Just trying to hit a Free Company Militia on the run is like, okay, but fireballs were pretty useful early on, so kind of wanted to see more of those. Engineer did very, very well. Amber Wizard did all right. Free Company Militia, overall, quite solid value. Empire Knights did well, and War Wagons, 2 of them got sniped out. 1 did amazing. Berserk is getting engaged. Congrats. All right, so that was just a random replay to buy time. I have a Discord message. I'm hoping that's about the finals. TY, if game 3, good luck, have fun. If not, don't tell me. We have game 2. Even I do not know if there is a game 3 occurring. The only people that would know would be Butcherbird and Berserk. So let's pull back up the scorecard version of the screen. Oh, Bird did win game 1. I didn't update that thing. So Butcherbird was 1-0. And he has now sent us game 2. Slaanesh versus Wood Elves. Earlier in the semifinals, we saw Butcherbird in the same matchup take Orion. Otherwise, this is the same build. This time he took Durthu instead of Orion. But same build. For Berserk, it's different, but not that different from what we saw. Instead of Slongors, we have a couple Marauders and Forsaken. And then we have Hellstriders, like Scarbrand took, some Skirmish Cav, which Scarbrand also took, but we have Chaos Knights with Lances, which he also took, and we have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Shadows with Melkoths and Pit of Shades. So very similar build here to what Scarbrand ended up bringing. But we do have an exalted hero of Slaanesh to try and kill Orion or Durthu or whoever the combat lord is. He does have that disarm, so he can debuff your lords or heroes while getting good damage out himself. So slightly different build, very similar idea. And we'll see if it plays out any differently. As for Durthu, instead of Orion, it looks like we have Flock of Doom and Sword of Daith with a little Earthblood caster next to him. And the Deepwood Scouts are going to move up, get some shots on the Forsaken, get some shots on the Devoted Marauders, while Berserk sets up a long flank around the side. It looks like he is really trying to pen the Wood Elves in, push them back towards the white line so that when he routes them, they just go straight off the map and he doesn't have to chase them for very long. Looks to be the case. So his infantry are just a slow wall moving at you, forcing you back, forcing you to potentially make mistakes. I don't want to see these Hellstriders just dive in all willy-nilly. Berserk's a much better player than me, so he would know better, but that does seem like a bit of a mistake, and yeah, he's not going to do it. He also was going to throw out a predictive Pit of Shades, but canceled it with a Melkoth, so he doesn't waste the Winds of Magic. Nice. One Forsaken has already taken a lot of damage from the Deepwood Scouts, but it is what it is. Berserk's other infantry are getting left behind right now. It's hard to tell if these are micro mistakes just because so much is going on, or if they're like decisions for reasons that just are a little bit beyond me. Berserk throws out another Pit of Shades. This one not as predictive, though we have some Deepwood Scouts who do dodge out of it. It's still going to tickle Wild Riders a little bit, plus with Chaos Knights getting good damage on them, and now a Devoted Marauder wraparound. Overall, that can be pretty good damage on the Wild Riders. Skirmish Cav and Hellstriders mixing together to fight these other Wild Riders next to the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows. Yes, and the Wild Hunters of Kurnos get a good engagement on the Hellstriders elsewhere. Deepwood Scouts continuing to fall back. One is at half HP, the other two are still full, and it really looks like the Wood Elves are getting the better of these Cav engagements. They're just beating up these Hellstriders. Slaanesh doesn't have Seekers. Slaanesh doesn't have Pleasure Seekers or anything. Yeah, they're Pleasure Seekers. Anything like that. They're just relying on Hellstriders in these matchups, and Hellstriders are not up to the task of killing Wild Hunters of Kurnos and Sisters of the Thorn, it seems. So Wood Elves take the lead on the balance of power. Game's not over yet, but it is looking a little scary for Berserk right now. Deepwood Scouts continue to fall back, fall away. Where did the third one go? Guess it might have died. Okay. Hellstriders and infantry piling in. This could be a scary situation for Butcherbird, honestly. Wild Riders taking a lot of damage, sitting in Forsaken, getting hit with a bunch of spells as well. I wonder if the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh wants to take a fight with Durthu. Probably not until a late game where you supposedly would have infantry surrounding Durthu and then you could cycle charge freely. Until that point, they probably want nothing to do with it. Riders of the Mighty Serpent getting penned in by Sisters of the Thorn and Wild Riders. They try and run away. We'll see how far that actually gets them. And Berserk is clawing his way back into this game, balance of power-wise, taking out a second Deepwood Scout. It looks like the third is well on the way. Other Forsaken also getting great damage onto more Wild Riders, so yeah, his infantry are doing good work for him. And the Riders of the Mighty Serpent proving too slippery, getting away. Exalted Hero of Slaanesh got a little damage onto Durthu and didn't take very much in return, so pretty good win there for him. Now we do still have a full health Wild Hunters of Kurnos in the distance. That is not something to be forgotten. We still have Durthu with a healing caster, but overall Berserk is turning around what was looking like actually a pretty one-sided game as this started out. Spellsinger of Life is now under attack. Rock of Inevitability slowing her and lowering her melee defense to 8. That is going to be good damage from the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh on the Spellsinger. Might even terror out her, but he does need to get moving. Wild Riders are here. They could try and pen him in place while Durthu walks ominously forward. Doesn't look like that's going to be the situation. Last of Chaos Knights and Hellstriders fighting the last of 2 different Wild Rider units. Has come down to a dregs fight as far as the cavalry fight goes. Neither of these sides feeling too good anymore. Again, except for the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, who are full health in the distance. Riders of the Mighty Serpent continue to kite out these shieldless Wild Riders, so actually their volleys should be getting good damage on those guys if they have Fire at Will on, which they do. So getting a couple good volleys here and there, though they are going to finally get caught. Berserk has been microing them very well, but there he let him get caught a little bit. Sweet Sorrow, even to give him more vigor, really doesn't want their leadership to break and wants to give them a speed to get away from these Wild Riders, so trying to bail those guys out with the use of a Slaanesh army ability. Nice job bailing them out. Kind of sucks that he had to bail them out, though, right? Wants tier 3 Fascinations if he can get them. Another Melkoth is down in the Sisters of the Thorn, just relying on that spell to finish off the cavalry he can't personally chase down. And at some point, Berserk's Exalted Hero looks like he got caught by Durthu. It was probably in the background while I was talking about the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. And this is a bit of a disaster for the Wood Elves. If those Sisters break, they're right next to the edge of the map. Yeah, you could see Butcherbird tried to pull them in, tried to get charging bonus off of the Forsaken of Slaanesh to not route, but he did route it next to the edge of the map, and they will both go off as well. And Berserk's just trying to set up a late game situation where it's just Durthu versus a bunch of infantry, and then his Exalted Hero can cycle charge in. But I mentioned it several times because it is very important. The Wild Hunters of Kurnos being full HP is a huge problem, especially if the Wood Elves don't do exactly that. I was going to say if the Wood Elves don't burn their healing before the Wild Hunters take Melkoths, because you kind of want to counter Melkoths with Earthbloods at this point. And a massive overcast on the Spellsinger of Life damages her about as much as she got healed up. So honestly, it was kind of a wasted Earthblood from the Wood Elves, unfortunately. Hey, it's Chosen One. How you doing, Chosen One? Hope you're good. Another Melkoths onto Wild Riders, not the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. It looks like Berserk wants to simplify the battlefield and take out the already weakened Wild Rider and just rely on dealing with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos later, but that is risky. As we can see, the Wild Hunters have surrounded the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh and the Chaos Lord. They're getting good damage down, though Forsaken sprinting in makes the Wild Hunters want to be anywhere else. Rock of Inevitability slows them as the Forsaken try and get in here with their impressive 40-something speed versus the 58 of the slowed Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Meanwhile, Sword of Daith doing a lot of damage to the Forsaken. Durthu trying to clear out this infantry in the late game. We still have the Riders of the Mighty Serpent just running around being annoying, but now they're skirmishing with the Sisters of the Thorn, so both sides going to trade even damage there. Melkoth's further slowing the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, who just cannot get away from this Slaanesh Lord and Hero. And they would like to turn and take the fight, except for the fact that they're Forsaken here. But Butcherbird just gets a quick charge in because he has to. Like, he was just getting slowed too much. There's nothing he could do, but he really does not want to fight on those Forsaken. The balance of power is maybe in Slaanesh's favor for the first time this game. Riders of the Mighty Serpent still doing this little skirmish battle. Both sides crazy low on HP. Both sides very low on leadership. And both sides are going to rout at the exact same time. Slaanesh sprints for the edge of the map. The Sisters sprint for, I guess, a different edge of the map. They were sort of in a corner. Wild Hunters of Kurnos are very low. I expect to see a follow-up Melkoths on them any second now. There it is. And they are hoping to kill some models before an Earthblood can come out from the Life Caster. Sisters of the Thorn won the skirmish battle. They recovered. The Riders of the Mighty Serpent did not. Wild Hunters of Kurnos very low. Do get a quick charge on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Get a decent amount of damage off on him, but the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh should be able to rout them. There they go. It is down to just Durthu and a Life Caster, but Durthu gets a huge hit onto the key player in this late game. It is really down to the Exalted Hero to carry the rest of this against Durthu. Now, what does Slaanesh do? Do they take the time to chase down the Wild Hunters, or do they just commit to the fight? It looks like they're just going to commit to the fight, and the Exalted Hero of Slaanesh is trying to kill that Earthblood caster so that he doesn't have to kill 1.5 Durthus. He just needs to kill Durthu one time. I have a Discord message. Is it important? No. It's on a different server than my tournament's running on, so whatever that is can wait. Spellsinger, Rock of Inevitability down, 8 melee defense again, but Durthu gets another shot on that Exalted Hero. He just doesn't miss. Sister of the Thorn dive in for probably the last time. This will shatter them if they route. I think they've already routed twice previously. Exalted Hero is back in again. The shatter did come through like we said, but Durthu hits every single time he has looked at this Slaanesh Hero. That Slaanesh Hero has taken a giant chunk of damage. Forsaken pile back into Durthu. They are thankfully, for Slaanesh's sake, immune to psychology. They will not tear out from Durthu. They are going to churn and bump and grind with him till the end of time. But that Exalted Hero really needs to catch a break on his melee defense. He needs that 50 melee defense to, at some point, buy him anything. As there's a Melkoth's onto that caster. Interesting that he didn't use it on the Wild Hunters of Kronos to prevent them from getting a charge back in. Looks like he's just relying on the hero to take him out, but I feel like you're going to take a lot of impact damage. Yeah, he took 300 damage. I think that Melkoth's would have been just better on the fleeing Wild Hunters of Kronos, personally. Shattered them off. Looks like the Life Caster is also going to route. And that means it's just Durthu. There's no shot. Berserk is way too good of a player to fumble letting her come back when he has all the cards on chasing her off. So it's not going to happen. She's gone. But can a very close to dead Exalted Hero, a half health Sorcerer Lord, and a Forsaken unit kill Durthu? The Sorcerer Lord is on a Doot Snake, actually, so he does have armor piercing. It's not nothing. Exalted Hero is charging in on Durthu. Durthu is currently facing the other way, so maybe he can get a break. Maybe he can finally engage with Durthu for 2 seconds without taking a massive punch to the face. But Durthu turns around, and he gets punched! Hey, let's go! Every time you mess with Durthu, you're losing 400 HP, buddy! Let's go. Doot Snake charging back in, and actually the Spellsinger of Life is going to be allowed to rally. Durthu gets another hit on the Exalted Hero. Literally, dude, literally, every time this Doot Snake touches the giant tree, he loses 400 HP without fail. He's going back in, maybe, but he is going to let the Lifecaster get away. Lifecaster's probably going to turn around and immediately throw an Earthblood onto Durthu if you have the Winds of Magic. Durthu throws out a Flock of Doom quick. Doot Snake's back in combat. Doot Snake takes 300 HP every time. Every time. He just can't catch a break. He routes away from Durthu, maybe taking the Forsaken with him, maybe taking the Sorcerer Lord with him. Oh my goodness. Balance of power heavily favors the Slaaneshis at this point, but I don't know. Melkoth's down onto Durthu just for a little bit of poke damage. Every bit of poke counts. That Doot Snake is deciding whether to charge the little lady or the big tree. She goes for the little lady. Forsaken gonna route away from Durthu. Doot Snake's back in. Doot Snake's back in. Big damage. Big damage onto Durthu. But Durthu can always give it back. He can always get back the damage as the Forsaken are all routing. It's one Doot Snake versus the world. And the Snake's back in. Durthu's standing there, though. He's standing tall. He's gonna get shots onto this guy constantly. Prismatic Amplifier is good. Exalted Hero's not coming back. Durthu's chilling. Durthu's chilling. Down to 1200 HP. Balance of power is going to Army Loss's territory. Don't you dare Army Loss this. Don't you dare. Natural routes or no routes, you piece of shit. I'm looking for the negative 55. Where's the negative 55? There it is. There's the Army Losses. It was bullshit. Durthu definitely could have handled it. I mean, I'm not saying he definitely would have won, but I'm saying that wasn't Army Loss's territory. Not at all. Not in my America. Fuck that. Fuck that noise. That was some bullshit Army Losses. Durthu was cooking. Durthu was cooking. And the Doot Snakes did clutch it out in the end for Berserk. 3,300 damage value on his Sorcerer Lord. Slaanesh is balanced. The Exalted Hero says, man, I would have liked to interact with Durthu once or twice without taking a giant tree to the face. That would have been cool. Hellstriders got shellacked. Chaos Knights got shellacked. Skirmish Cav got shellacked. Those don't look very shellacked, sir. That's 1,200 value on a 700 gold unit. That actually, that unit did pretty good. Hey, fuck you. How about that? How about that? Huh? Who's laughing now? All right, don't cry. Calm down. I hear Scarbrand and see no corn. What? 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 All right. Our finals did go to game 3. No spoilers, because I don't have any spoilers. It's game 3 o'clock. They loaded into game 3 5 minutes ago. So game 3 between these two players should be about 4 or 5 minutes in. Depending on what kind of game it ends up being. Could be over soon. Could be over in about 5 minutes. I need some more water. My voice is doing a little hurty. So I'm gonna put up this little blocker. Just for something, just for people to have something to look at, and then I'm gonna grab some water. BRB. Oh shit! Oh my god! All right, BRB. Oh, my poor little voice. All right, I'm back. Ugh. I miss anything? What is chat doing? Dirthu hit, you bastard. That feels wild to say Dirthu hit. Come on, man. Dirthu was hitting everything. Man was throwing blows. Sweaty Slaneshi tournament. Yeah. Hey, it's Way. How you doing, Way? Well, I suppose we are still in a little bit of a break, but not a water break anymore, technically. Technically. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I had a dream at one point that Kairos got healing back, and it was like the fact that he lost regrowth was a bug, and like CA bug fixed it, so his spell kit had regrowth back in it, and I was pissed off. Was not a fan of Kairos having regrowth again. Dude, peak Tzeentch meta was different. That's what I'll say. It hit diff. Friggin' every game was just 2 Soul Grinders and Kairos, and then some Chaos Knights with Kairos having regrowth. It's disgusting. Disgusting. And then when the Shadows of Change first came out, Changebringers were OP. They're still pretty strong, but whatever. Centaurs were 1050, I think, on release. So they were 150 gold cheaper. And the Mutant Vortex Beast was anti-large armor piercing and stronger. And that DLC was fucking cracked. So then every game was like, am I getting air cheesed? Am I getting blobbed? Am I getting rushed? What's happening? Tzeentch can just do everything. Kislev also fell off a cliff. That is one thing. Someone earlier was asking where the factions are at, and I said a couple factions are struggling, a couple factions are OP, and most are in this giant middle category of like fine. Kislev feels weak to me. They've been struggling. I don't see them much, and when I do see them, I'm like, oh, that's why I don't see them much. They're not terrible, though. That's the thing, is like, I feel like the balance has gotten to a point where nothing is objectively terrible. You know, like old Beastmen, where it's a meme to even play them because they're so bad. No one's that bad. But I do think Kislev has to work harder than other factions to win right now. In Lab Battles and Conquest, I don't know about Domination, right? It's not my purview. I think Vampire Counts and Vampire Coast both have to work a little harder than most factions to get wins right now. I still think Nurgle has to work harder than most factions to get wins right now. And then the other end of the coin, no one is truly OP. You can't beat them, but I think like High Elves, I'm out on right now. Like today, I saw a lot of games where High Elves were looking pretty damn strong, but I don't know enough yet about how their meta is shaking out to say if they're OP or not. So I'll leave that alone, but maybe High Elves. But, you know, Dark Elves, Slaanesh still generally win more games than they lose kind of thing. Beastmen's generally still winning more than they're losing. So they're kind of above, but again, they're not exactly free wins either. It's pretty hard. So I think the meta's in a really good spot from my early reviews. That's as far as strength goes. Now, there's a whole conversation to be had if the meta's in a good spot, like gameplay-wise, right? That's different. But faction strength, I think there's a lot of factions can do. But I don't know. It's still a very single entity heavy meta. Infantry still isn't having the best go. We've seen a couple builds today where there were literally no infantry on one side. So yeah, there's little improvements that could always be made, of course. Of course. It's too bad Kislev doesn't get a holiday special called Build-A-Bear. Ha! I know Domination people are getting sick of seeing chimeras all the time. Yeah, I also hear a lot of upsetty spaghetti at Warriors of Chaos. Apparently Bearmen are really strong in Domination for Warriors of Chaos because they could just throw them out. Immune to psychology, high HP, point takers. Allegedly. Dreadmaws are strong. Yeah. Chimera's broken as fuck. Chimera's crazy strong. It is crazy strong for sure. I know CA's got it on their nerf list. We just don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a patch before the new year or not though, because CA's gone home, so it's like it would have come out by now. Don't know who this guy was that thought immune to flanking was a good idea. Yeah, they gave it to some weird units. Like, thematically, it makes sense to give it to the Bastiladon, but honestly, a 650 terror-causing unit with 140 armor and armor-piercing melee didn't honestly need buffs. It didn't need immune to flanking. I don't know what that's about. Chimera is also really strong with immune to flanking, for sure. Bearman Filth is not as elegant as Ratman Filth. Okay, I don't know if I'd call Ratman Filth elegant. I'm a big fan of Ratman Filth. In every meaning of that word. Clip that, take it out of context, you go nuts. But I don't know if elegant is the word I would use. Warriors are basically just Norska and Slaanesh and Dom, yeah. What do they have that's Slaanesh? Oh, they have Hellstriders, I suppose, and then the champions of Slaanesh. Yeah. Isn't the Chimera shit in melee, or is that just Praeton? That's definitely the Praeton. The Chimera's breath attack is very strong, but it's also super strong in melee for sure. It's amazing in melee. All right, time check. As far as the players go, they've been in game 3, not pick and ban, not battle, not army builds, like literally into game 3 for about 15 minutes for the final game. So that should be with us shortly. For anybody who's curious, where you're like, hey, you dumb piece of garbage, where is the video games? Where are the video games? I've been having a ton of fun since coming back playing Skaven. Big fan. The High Elf Oceanids are actually cracked, though. We need to have a conversation as a community about these fuckers. Every High Elf game I played today, Oceanids have been a big part, and I've played as the High Elves some of those times. I was playing High Elves versus Dwarves, and I had a bunch of archers and then some Oceanids to just peel. And when the Dwarves like came out to try and stop my archers from just shooting them in the face, my Oceanids blocked them for 50 years. Even ran into Slayers for a bit, and they were fine. Where's Rider of Rohan? I don't know. His Discord says it's green with a phone or whatnot, so he exists. Yeah. Rider of Rohan made an ocean and shrine so that the Chaos God of Salt Water would prevent Silverhelm's nerf. Man, I know it's a meme, but Silverhelm's maybe could use a little buff. Maybe a little buffy. I've been underwhelmed by them for a long time. I feel like Illyrian Reavers fell off, and I don't know when that happened. I don't think they took any nerfs or anything, but I remember this used to be like a god tier light cavalry, and recently I've seen them just getting their shit kicked in constantly. I never thought Illyrian Reavers were OP or anything. I just thought they were like premium top tier light cav, and now for some reason they just feel like nothing. And you might be like, well, yeah, they're light cav, they shouldn't feel great. No, I get that. I'm thinking about like other light cav. Like, for some reason, Glade Riders with spears feel better than Illyrian Reavers. Like, it's a very vibes thing. I'm not basing this off of math or anything. It's just like when I use a Glade Rider with a spear, I'm like, yeah, this feels good in Illyrian Reaver. I don't know, something feels off. It just doesn't feel very good considering its stats. Like, its stats should be amazing. 38 melee defense on a light cav should feel really good, and yet they just don't deal any damage, get slaughtered all day. Bullshit is toxic enough. Yeah, the High Elf stuff that got added, High Elves right now are, in my opinion, their strong way to play is pretty toxic and unfun. I'm not a fan, but I don't think that means that they're like an S tier faction yet. I just need more data about whether or not I think the faction is like S, A, or B. They're somewhere in there. They're definitely not in C or D, but I'm trying to figure out where they actually land. But yes, the strong way to play them is like a ton of healing on these perfect vigor, immune to contact effects, physical, missile, and fire resistance monsters. And that's definitely the strong way to play them. Then they have like air cheese and boxes and stuff and a bunch of single entities. It's not a fun way to play, but like, it's strong. Is it canon that Tamarkan is Shrek? I mean, he starts in a swamp, wants everybody to get the fuck out, and then starts gathering his fairy tale friends, has legit Shrek. He's even an ogre. I mean, yeah, that's lore confirmed. And if you listen really closely when you start his campaign, you'll hear somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I threw that shit on easy instead. He was looking kinda dumb, losing his capital at level 1. Something else. I don't know. I lost it. Who would win, Waterboys versus Fireglaves? Fireglaves, easy. Easy. They turn that water into steam. No, I think the Oceanids would actually wreck them. I mean, we can see. But they have No, they're going to take no damage from that. They have physical resistance, missile resistance, and fire resistance. They're going to take 70% less damage from those shots. Uh-oh. I've triggered Wicked's PTSD. We are now 20 minutes in to when those two players loaded into their game. It's got to be done soon. It's got to be. It's got to be, he told himself 7 or 8 times in a row. They can't possibly still be playing that game. All right, now I'm just curious. I want to see how little damage those guys take. So let's grab blunderbusses and let's grab fireglaves. They finished? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Oh, God, they literally just did. Damn it. That's too funny. Dude, I swear this always happens. As soon as you start to do something, is when whatever you're waiting for will happen. Like, if you're waiting for a friend to come over, easiest way to get that friend to spawn into your life is just to start, like, a video game. Because you were putting it off. All right, we'll start in a second. I just want to finish this test since we loaded it up. All right. So both these are going to be the same. They're going to be resisted by 70%. All right. Yep, that looks like 70% resistance does. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good resists, you guys. I mean, if a blunderbuss isn't absolutely messing up your day, those are pretty good resists. All right, they're OP. Let's get on with it. Ladies and gentlemen, the final game of the finals. Butcherbird on Bretonnia versus Berserk on Norska. Berserk is trying to win. Berserk is playing the good factions. Butcherbird is trying to lose. My God. My God. All right, for this final game, Butcherbird, memes aside, he is a very good Beastmen, Bretonnia, and Wood Elf player, which is why he apparently was playing Beastmen, Wood Elves, and Bretonnia. So he's just playing his strong factions. We have King Lewin Leoncoeur in the skies with a Damsel of Life who has regrowth and Earthblood. Frontline of peasant mobs, fire peasant bowmen, and then we have Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm, and Knights of the Realm. More Grail Knights and Knights of the Lionhearted. On the other side, we have all the fancy new toys. We have a Dreadmaw, a Chimera, the Great Shaman Sorcerer of Metal with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom. And then we have Marauder Bearmen with great weapons, a lot of them, Marauder Spearmen, and a couple of Norskan Ice Wolves. We also have Scylla Onfengrim, interestingly enough, with his Rampage. But the Dreadmaw did just pop up in the middle of the Knights of the Realm, did some decent damage to them and to the archers, and ran away. Though I suppose he didn't do the damage, the Chimera's breath attack did, but still. Berserk using that to get rid of a peasant bowman for a little bit and also get a decent shot off. Chimera's dueling with Lewin, and that's not a fight it'll win. Chimeras are crazy strong, yada yada yada, but this is still King Lewin mother flippin' Leoncoeur. He is gonna beat you down, son. Look at these guys trying to outrun the Dreadmaw. No, please! No, come on, man! We just wanna live! We just want to live! Lewin's chasing the Chimera around. We still have some Norskan Warhounds lurking in the woods. Oh, God! It's underneath us! Oh, it's not even under the ground. It literally doesn't exist. All right, peasant mobs running up to deal with Marauder Bearmen. Grail Knights thinking about where to charge. We have other knights just sitting around the Dread Mob. But you can see, like, how much of the Bretonnian army is just kind of sitting waiting for something to happen. They're like, I don't want to just leave this Dreadmaw back here, but also I want to go do other shit. Lewin is still harassing that Chimera and actually going to get damage down on it as the Grail Knights are going to countercharge these Norskan Ice Wolves. Norskan Ice Wolves should have a bad time, but it looks like the Grail Knights are actually just going to back off. They don't want to fight with a Mammoth just yet. Some dogs have revealed themselves in the back. You can see on the far right of the screen as Knights get a beautiful charge onto them. We'll route those dogs on impact, and the Chimera is getting whooped by Lewin right now. It's having a terrible go of it as Butcherbird continues to charge in and out with his Grail Knights, just kind of harassing the Norskins, not getting too much damage out right now, but trying to also not take a ton of damage in return. Dreadmaw is probably going to pop up any second here just to stop those archers from shooting at his Mammoth. No, I thought for sure he was going to do it. Chimera still losing to Lewin. It's at half HP. Knights of the Realm now stuck in a fight here. The Grail Knights get rampaged. They can't dodge anymore, so I imagine we'll have a Searing Doom coming for them soon. And the Mammoth plus the Norskan Ice Wolf is going to slow these guys down, make sure they can't escape. Dreadmaw still has not popped up under the Peasant Bowman with fire arrows just yet, but it is getting in position to do so if it needs to. Chimera brings Lewin into the fight, and Lewin waits to pop his Sword of Corone until he is over a battlefield that actually matters. Shaman Sorcerer of Metal overcasts something. It looks like it's a Searing Doom right over here. We'll see how much damage it does as the Bretonnians try and pull away, but there are a lot of Norskan Icehounds between them and Freedom, so the Knights of the Realm take most of the damage, but the Grail Knights largely survive. Bretonnia off to a very good start here. We saw Norskan Ice Wolves routing here, Norskan Warhounds routed on the far side. Meanwhile, the Dreadmaw has decided to pop back up and take care of these Peasant Bowmen once and for all. Grail Knights are back on top of it. Is its teleport off of cooldown? Can it escape from those Grail Knights? We will see. Marauder Bearman trying to find a fight, and that is one place where Bretonnia is going to have a shit time. Peasant mobs obviously wildly outclassed by Grail Knights deleted by a max range Chimera breath attack down the side. Twice now the Dreadmaw has been used to blob up cavalry for a nasty breath attack to follow. The Grail Knights holding for now as the Chimera and the Mammoth are causing a lot of damage. Lewin is trying to keep his coalition together, but Scylla, the Chimera, the Dreadmaw, everybody currently beating up the King of Bretonnia, doing a lot of damage to him, and he has to back off and regenerate for a little bit. But as we were saying before that big play happened, the Marauder Bearmen are going to easily outclass the Peasant mobs, as they should. No problem with that. So if these single entities can find a fight on top of their own infantry, they will be very happy for it. Dreadmaw teleports after some Peasant Bowmen, immediately routes them with its explosion damage, and Lewin dives back onto it. Dreadmaw still has 4,000 HP, but as Lewin lands, now Scylla is going to get a rear attack on him. Looks like Chimera will also jump in here. So Lewin's going to take a lot of damage for his efforts, and the Dreadmaw just slinks back underground. In comes a Searing Doom. The Grail Knights start to try and dodge it. How much damage really converts onto them? Not a ton of damage. Some good poke, but overall good dodge there by the Bretonnians. Still, the Marauder Bearmen just being led around the map. A lot of the fights are happening outside of Berserk's infantry, and that might be something he regrets as the Chimera is under attack. Standard Ground is procced from Lewin to give all these knights a little extra melee attack. Dreadmaw pops back up in the middle of this chaos, but the Great Shaman Sorcerer is taking a lot of damage. Still has 6,500 HP, which is a lot of HP, but he has lost half of it in the blink of an eye. He's down to 5,500 now as well, so he is really taking a lot of damage. A Searing Doom out to try and give him some space. No archers supporting Bretonnia right now. Again, the Dreadmaw has pushed them off rather effectively. One did just rally, so we have fire arrows coming in, but not a ton of damage from those. Most of the damage is coming from Lewin and the Knights, but the Grail Knights have taken significant damage. Lewin has also taken significant damage, and both of them need to back off as the Norskins take the lead on the balance of power. And that Chimera is still looking for blood. Grail Knight's going to try and charge it on the ground, but it does barely get into the sky. Now it's going to 1v1 Lewin. At no point in this game has 1v1ing Lewin gone well for this thing. Never happened. But it's trying. All right. The Giver of Glory Vigor per second has got the Chimera back to fresh while Lewin is exhausted. But Grail Knights are supposed to have perfect vigor and Lewin doesn't have perfect vigor, so this world makes no sense. Now that's actually weird. It's a decision I agree with, that Lewin would be a little toxic with perfect vigor, and it is interesting that he's a Grail Knight and doesn't get one. I accept that for gameplay balance. It's just funny that the Norskins are now fresh and Lewin is tired. I find that silly. Knights of the Realm try and charge past Scylla, but they get blocked up by him and they get counter hit nicely. Damsel of Life getting bullied around by a mammoth who is currently moonwalking on her and then decides to leave, so she is left in Marauder Bearman as some peasant bowmen continue to fire in. Great Shaman Sorcerer is down to 2,000 HP and falling. His HP looks so low, but man, he has so much left. And we get an Earthblood onto Lewin? All right, I was worried it was a regrowth, which would have been a waste. Chimera stops to fight Lewin in the sky instead of diving his healer, which is fine for him. Other Knights of the Realm get hit with a big old mammoth charge. Grail Knights back in, but Grail Knights need to be back out. They can't, though. They're going to be rampaged into the Searing Doom. Beautiful combo here from Berserk to take out one of the last important Grail Knights that the Bretonnians have, but the Bretonnians maybe, possibly, ooh, and a breath attack on top of it. Fuck those Grail Knights, apparently. Bretonnia, maybe, possibly, are going to kill the Norskan Lord, which will make it a lot easier to route their units, including that Dreadmaw, wherever it is. There it is. Remember, if that thing routes, it just instantly shatters, as it has been harassing the archers all game, as it even... It's almost paid for itself. Lewin's trying to finish the mammoth. Awkwardly lands on it. Needs one more attack to finish that off for good. Still have the Knights of the Lionhearted. We still have some anti-large cavalry, though they are being used to constantly charge infantry right now. They will then catch the Chimera just as it landed on the Damsel. So it's now fully surrounded, though I suppose that literally doesn't matter because it's immune to flanking. It's still taking a lot of damage. I just meant the fact that it's being flanked doesn't actually change anything. War Mammoth is dead. Leadership for the Norskins should spike down. Chimera, even without a Lord, is only barely routing at 600 HP. That's kind of crazy. And also their Vigor should now start to actually attrition out because the Norskan Lord was giving an AoE Perfect Vigor aura. Bounce power is still 50-50 in this final, nearly 9 minutes into the game. Chimera is running away. Lord recently died is the only thing that's got it routing right now, otherwise it'd be totally fine. And the Knights have rallied for an Earthblood. How are we doing on models? 12 Grail Knights out of 48, 13 Grail Knights out of 48, and then Knights of the Realm at 31 and 14 respectively. For Norska, a lot of Marauder Bearmen. And then a Dreadmaw and Scylla, who are both pretty low. Though Scylla is unbreakable, so he doesn't care that his Lord died. Lewin's trying to chase that Chimera. Chimera does not have any breath attacks left. We'll see if that's even worth it. As the Bretonnians just buy some time. Dun, 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 dun. Hit fast forward briefly. There we go. So the Dreadmaw is looking to take a fight. Chimera is still going for the edge of the map. We'll see if it manages to rally before the end. And an unholy pile of Norskins have formed. Now Scylla is going to be important here because as the Grail Knights try and charge, cycle charge over and over again, he's going to try and rampage them to sit in the Marauder Bearman. And any amount of time in the Marauder Bearman is going to be crucial at this stage. Dreadmaw pops up, routes off the peasants, and it's going to probably try and go underground immediately, but we'll see if that's going to be the case. He's going to take a bit of damage for his efforts. He's going to take a lot of damage for his efforts. There he goes. He's back underground. Close to routing, but not quite. And now Scylla runs over. You can see he's probably going to pop his rampage instantly. Yeah. Ooh, and he's going to catch all the Knights of the Lionhearted. Nasty. Oh, and they're stuck in their lance formation. He can't change it because he's rampage, so he's got less melee defense. He took a bunch of damage from the explosion. Now he's sitting in armor piercing. Damn. Lewin jumps in. He is going to offer stand your ground. Going to try and mitigate the situation. Sword of Crone also knocks these guys down a little bit, but the Marauder Bearmen are immune to psychology, so they're actually not going to tear out. The Marauder Spearmen almost immediately tear out, but you see the Bearmen, they're no normal men. They're Bearmen. So the Bearmen are chilling as Scylla's getting chased around by Lewin. Bretonnia takes the lead on the balance of power. The Dreadmaw is surviving for now. Bearmen continuing to fight back. We have one peasant in here doing peasant things. I don't really know what the peasants are going to accomplish, but Lewin's just trying to hold everybody together as the Knights recalibrate, reform, recharge. Both of the non-immune to psychology Marauders are both retreating. Scylla's taking some good damage. Dreadmaw is just waiting for its time to be relevant and pop up. But Lewin's gonna hard carry, man. He's gonna hard carry. He's taking it away. Probably the Pisces Mammoth, another along with... Why does it feel like the Norskins are missing a third of their army? Oh, it's a bunch of expensive single entities. Dreadmaw, Chimera, Scylla, and the Mammoth. Why can't we see the value? Because it's not live. Replays don't show value. Only live games do. Dreadmaw did end up popping back up. Its HP is getting very low. Lewin's is not. Lewin's chilling. Dreadmaw goes back underground. Doesn't want any of this. And it's fine. Last of the Knights charge back in once more. Again, they take a little bit of damage back. Every trade is a winning trade for the Bearmen. Knights Lionhearted getting dragged down. Grail Knights getting dragged down. 43 HP on those Grail Knights. And the Damsel of Life is just left to her own devices, surrounded by sweaty Bearmen. Lewin and some Knights dive over on the Marauder Spearmen that were trying to return. And there goes the Damsel. 5 Grail Knights helping Lewin kill some spears, but that doesn't mean they're stuck fighting spears. Lose a model there. Can you imagine being a Grail Knight and like dying to random Norskin spears? Must be embarrassing. Dreadmaw is back up. Lewin jumps on him immediately, gets another 400 HP, and then the Dreadmaw just teleports away, leaving Lewin in a pile of infantry. Knights of the Lionhearted charge in one more time. 8 models left on them. They rout, and I believe they just shattered. Did you just shatter before my very eyes? They did. They will not be coming back. Other peasants are also routing away from the Dreadmaw, which is up and firing at Lewin. Bounce power is 50-50. Lewin is heal capped. The Damsel is not heal capped, but not much you can do about it as that Dreadmaw just friendly fired his own boys, his own lads, his own gits. Now remember, the Marauder Bearmen, as we've mentioned, like 8, 9, 10, 15, 17 times. They're immune to psychology. And Lewin tries to charge Dreadmaw only for it to go back underground yet again. Dreadmaws are perfectly balanced. Dreadmaws are fine. Dreadmaws are fine. Hype, a hummus stream, and Norska's on screen. All right, Lewin jumps back in to try and help his Damsel of Life a little bit. The Dreadmaw is going to pop up and go deal with the peasant mobs. Make sure that they don't come back. Bounce power shifted against Bretonia for the first time in a while. And the Dreadmaw is up. The peasants are gone. King Lewin is having an incredibly hard time getting through all of these Norskin Marauders. Dreadmaw offers a little shot onto him. It does poison him, but I also wonder if the explosion damage is doing more harm than good. We'll see in the long run, as the Damsel is going to rally soon. Lewin gets a terror out onto a spear. The Marauder Bearmen cannot be routed like that. Berserk is just letting any of the Bearmen that aren't currently fighting Lewin rest. There's no reason to pile everybody onto Lewin right now, because then the same amount of infantry will surround him at any point in time, but everyone is expending their vigor at the same time, so it's a little rough. I'm going to play this at ×2 speed, as it does appear to be a late game infantry grind. Dun, 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 dun. Lewin is trying to kill the Bearmen. Dun, 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 dun. It's not going his way, but he routed one. Can he route the other 4? No. It's gonna go GG to the Norskins. Mammoth Lord got lots of value. Syla Anframgrim, also lots of value. Dreadmaw, lots of value. Chimera, lots of value. So much value. Norskin Ice Wolves, not nearly as much value. Norskin Warhounds, almost no value. Marauder Bearmen, tons of value for the Bearmen. My God. My God. I don't know why I'm doing dumb voices, but that's where we are. Lewin did very well on the other side. Peasants did their jobs. Peasant archers got surprisingly decent value, considering the Dreadmaw was all over their dick all day. And then Knights of the Realm did okay. Grail Knights more mixed, unfortunately. You need to rewind and watch this battle from the start. I don't think I will do that. I think you're talking to someone else in chat, but I thought for a second you were talking to me, and I'm like, no, I just watched it. I'm not going to watch it again. First time seeing a Dreadmaw in action. I'm not surprised. You hear the unit can disappear and become invincible and pop up and do splash damage. It's OP. Skaven didn't run away terrified, then get their courage and skitter back in over and over. They wouldn't be Skaven. All right. That's it. That's it. The stream's done. Berserk won. Are you surprised? Are you not entertained? Actually, it's not surprising. Berserk is a very good top tier player for sure. But I will say, before I got sick and had to take a brief leave of absence, Berserk was on a struggling arc. He kept losing to Sipa and Alfredino, and even dropped a few games to not Sipa and Alfredino. So I was on the Berserk hate train for a little bit there. I was like, man, he's washed. He's not good. He's a boomer. And then he comes back, slaps some fools around, wins a very intense 3-game final. It's kind of funny. Game 1, I feel like wasn't that close. Like it was a good game. It's not a bad game. None of the games are bad, but game 1 wasn't that close. Butcherbird beat the Dark Elves pretty well. And then game 2 came down to the last few attacks between Durthu and the Slippery Snake. And then this game came down to the wire as well. Like, okay, the literal last moment, Loon was pretty screwed. There was a ton of Marauder Bearmen left, right? But like, it was risky there for a little bit. The balance of power was getting real bad. Loon was cycle charging, the Grail Knights were cycle charging, but that Silo Rampage explosion into the Marauder Bearmen with the Grail Knights, that was pretty damn good and kind of sealed the game. But yeah. This game was a bit of a parabola, right? Like, Bird pretty handedly, not pretty handedly, but like solid win by Bird, incredibly close game, and then solid win by Berserk at the end. Full circle. But he did it. The boy, the legend. Now, did Alfredino sign up today? No. Did Sipa sign up today? No. So the two people that I was saying are maybe better than Berserk right now weren't here to actually defend their titles. But a win's a win. A win's a win. Butcherbird's no slouch. Also very good. Seos is no slouch. Also very good. Blood Penguin's no slouch. Darth Plagueis and Kaiju. They're slouches. They're fucking slouches. Garbage players. No, they're both good. So Berserk actually had a really hard run today. And he won. Good job, lad. Good job, lad. Butcherbird also had a very strong performance today. Thanks to everybody who played. It was a fun tournament. 6 hours start to finish. No, 5.5 because that was a replay, so they were done 20 minutes ago or so. But yeah, 5.5 hours start to finish. Not bad. Not bad. Cool. What is coming up on the docket? Christmas. So yeah, probably no stream next weekend. And then we'll be into the new year. I got some schemes. I got some plans. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Goodbye. Leave me alone. I don't want to be here. Fuck off.